As Gandalf was too shocked earlier, he didn't pay much attention to Lin Ming's performance. Now that he had finally calmed down, he wanted to check if there were any flaws in Lin Ming's spell. Okay, Lin Ming nodded. The fiery phoenix spell emerged again, the heatwave once again surrounding this place. Truly monstrous, Gandalf blurted out. In just one day, Lin Ming reenacted the spell perfectly. There were no defects. I left out some of the details yesterday. The last thing I expected from you was you displaying the spell flawlessly. Gandalf sighed. Comparisons are odious. Thank goodness he only had one disciple. Otherwise, others might seem unworthy. It was just a fluke, Lin Ming replied. A fluke? You have a lot more than that, Gandalf grumbled. Lin Ming mentioned how he was lucky when he broke through to tier 6. And now, it was the same luck that brought his spell to perfection with a day's practice. If his luck was his norm, wouldn't others be living in eternal misfortune? I'm going to teach you another spell today. It's a defense spell, Gandalf said. Okay, though Lin Ming already had a fire-controlling spell, as he continued to advance and improve so rapidly, the spell could no longer keep pace with his progression. If Gandalf had asked, he would have brought up learning another defense spell, too. This is the Fiery Curtain. As Gandalf began his teaching, Lin Ming began to memorize this spell. As a Sage tier mage, the spell Gandalf taught was powerful. Not only could Fiery Curtain defend against other magic attacks, but if someone got too close, it would have burned them. Firstly, Lin Ming leveled up his proficiency to level 1 in the system. And after Gandalf was nowhere nearby, he was ready to level up more. Soon enough, he grasped the spell of Fiery Curtain. Thank you, Master, for your guidance. Lin Ming bowed in appreciation. Indeed, Gandalf did not hold back his knowledge in guiding him. He taught him 2 spells in 2 days. Lin Ming was glad his freakishly astonishing performance did not arouse Gandalf's suspicion. Staring at Lin Ming, Gandalf suddenly spoke. Wait a minute, I haven't finished yet. Of course. Lin Ming hurriedly nodded. Gandalf caught him off guard. Although you've learned defensive and offensive magic, your agility hasn't been enhanced by any magic yet. Gandalf explained. The reveal perked Lin Ming up. Gandalf had just hit the nail on the head. Lin Ming had thought that Gandalf wasn't finished explaining the details of the Fiery Curtain and kept him here for it. Little did he know Gandalf was going to enlighten him with another new spell. Indeed, Lin Ming nodded excitedly. A speed-enhancing spell can't be found in the Green Magic Academy, and only a Sage tier mage would know such a spell. Before diving into the subject, Gandalf spoke. I've never thought of teaching a spell like that ever. But I'll do it today. It will help you in any battle in the future. Magics on improving agility were confidential among the Sage tier mages. They were their lifeblood, but different from their signature magic. However, following Lin Ming's fascinating performances, Gandalf decided to pass this magic on to Lin Ming. Yes, thank you, Master. Lin Ming appreciated Gandalf's candor. This is the Air Blast spell. Gandalf proceeded to demonstrate the spell, its details, and everything to keep in mind. The instant you cast the spell, you'll soar into the air. Pay attention to your control at this very moment. Gandalf paused. No other Sage tier mage could cultivate this spell. No other spells allow soaring before the Sage tier. After you've completely mastered the Air Blast spell, you could remain in the air for as long as you like. Lin Ming became excited. The concept of battling in the air, not only could he dodge various magic attacks, but his speed would improve immensely. It was every mage's dream. The exhilaration of being in the air was the realistic experience of a mage's battle. Until now, he still couldn't forget the first time he saw a Sage tier mage in the air, looking down from above. Now, Gandalf is teaching him how to fight in the air, while Lin Ming is still at tier 6. Thank you, Master. Lin Ming's excitement exploded. He instantly maxed out his mastery of the Air Blast spell to level 9. Now, being a tier 6 mage, he would be able to soar into the sky without constraints. It was what he hoped. No such formalities are required between you and me, my disciple. Gandalf waved his hand. He decided to teach Lin Ming everything. I taught you 2 spells today, one defensive, and the other a speed-boosting spell. You have to practice well. The Fiery Curtain requires a higher degree of magic control, and the Air Blast spell requires more. Not only control, but also your body's coordination, and so on. All of these require time to practice. Gandalf heaved a sigh of relief mentally. In his opinion, now that he had taught Lin Ming 2 complex spells, It would at least keep him busy for a while. It wasn't one, but two spells, the air blast spell being much more arduous to grasp. Remember, patience? Gandalf left. Yes, Lin Ming responded behind him, standing right where he was. Lin Ming rejoiced. Fiery curtain and air blast spell, he chuckled. Wonderful. He took a glance at Gandalf's room, before turning around and walking deeper into the forest. He wanted to cast an air blast spell, to experience flying. Air blast spell, Lin Ming chanted. In an instant, his body was thrown in the air at an incredulous speed. It was a speed-enhancing spell, not a flying spell. After all, the flight effect would only take place when the proficiency level is at its maximum. As Lin Ming had already maxed out his proficiency, his figure was stable despite the extreme speed. Not only could he soar into the air, but he could also control it with ease. Of course, it also meant massive depletion of his magic powers. Lin Ming could feel the constant consumption of his energy. Lucky for him, he had abundant magical powers to spare. After Lin Ming's breakthrough to Tier 6, he savagely compressed his magic elements into the granular state. Therefore, although the air blast spell was constantly exhausting his powers while he was in the air, it didn't strain him too much. Fiery curtain, he chanted, casting the defensive spell he had just learned. Its proficiency was level 8. It was notable that the complete collection of the dazzling dragon spell would only have reached Tier 8 max, as expected. Gandalf's spells were of the finest. As the fiery curtain emerged, it had surrounded Lin Ming with a thick layer of fire magic. Not only would it not block his line of sight and disrupt his attacks, but it would buff his attacks as they passed through the barrier. There were more sorts of usage to the spell. Lin Ming was impressed with the extent of Gandalf's magic. While Lin Ming basked in the pleasure of soaring in the air, his magic power erupted once again. This time, he flew higher, undeviatingly overlooking the land where he lived. Once again, he landed on the ground after his euphoria passed. Fiery phoenix spell, fiery curtain, air blast spell. He closed his eyes and gazed at the 3 spells that he had already maxed out. In 2 days, he managed to learn 3 powerful spells from 3 different domains. That was enough for him to be thrilled. Especially the 2 skills he had mastered today. His Tier 6 breakthrough seemed trivial compared to this achievement. Congratulations, Master. Bai Han had sensed Lin Ming's excitement as he appeared in front of Lin Ming to congratulate him, but he wasn't just here to flatter him. You have only entered the spirit pool on the 2nd floor of the stupa, Master. There is more to explore. Are you sure you don't want to check it out? Without further consideration, Lin Ming entered the 2nd floor of the stupa. Since Bai Han had mentioned it, there must be other surprises awaiting him that would surpass the spirit pool. Otherwise, Bai Han wouldn't have given him the cue. The 2nd floor of the stupa was wide. Lin Ming closed his eyes and took in everything. And in his observation, the spirit pool was at the northernmost part. Something else was dazzling at the end of the south. What's that? Lin Ming frowned. He understood why Bai Han made this suggestion. With telekinesis, he teleported to the location in mind, and in front of him, the thundering was incessant. This is, as Lin Ming stared at the flashing lightning, his brows pulled together. Master, this is the lightning pool. Bai Han's voice came behind Lin Ming as he explained. In the northernmost lies the spirit pool, specially prepared for mages, and in the southernmost lies the lightning pool for physical training. And because the damaged area in the stupa was in the north, the spirit pool was corrupted, so its effects weren't as dense. However, the damage didn't tamper with that of the lightning pool. Its content is raw and original. You mean the lightning's pool effects are going to surpass that of the spirit pool? Lin Ming asked. Of course, he knew what Bai Han meant, but at this instant, he felt uneasy. He was a mage, the spirit pool that was supposed to help in magical growth was damaged. But there was no issue with the lightning pool used to forge the body. Master, you could use the lightning pool to train your physical body. It would be a lot easier. Bai Han said, its refinement would reach every cell of your body. Using close combat with magical beasts to stimulate Lin Ming's potential was effective. However, that of chopping down trees wasn't as good. Not to mention, in the future, close combat with magical beasts would increase actual combat experience only. The deeper you advance into the pool, the stronger the effect would be. Bai Han spoke from Lin Ming's side. Lin Ming nodded. I'll give it a try. Although he was a mage, He could not give up such a rare opportunity. To train his physique, Bai Han watched Lin Ming enter the pool. Lin Ming's body had become remarkably powerful after passing the second stage of recognition. Then, in close combat with the magical beasts, he had fully stimulated his body's potential. Therefore, his current physical body could withstand the surface power from the lightning pool. Lin Ming had just entered the pool when he felt the numbness crawling up his body, bringing intense pain from his core. He could no longer withstand the pain, and it was hard to stand up straight, even. He let out a deep breath. If he had not fully activated his body's potential, he would not have been able to withstand it. Even if this was only the outermost area. Forget it. Lin Ming exhaled another breath and relaxed his body in the pool, lying on his back. Everything went into a complete uproar. As Lin Ming felt the numbness, his body went limp. Although the pain was intense, it was bearable. For the entire night, Lin Ming remained in the pool. The next day, Lin Ming stood on his feet unsteadily and walked out. An entire night in the pool did not leave any charring or marks. The surface of his body was now shimmering. He had become even more powerful. Lin Ming paced out of the stupa. He knew that one night was the limit of what he could endure. If he continued to stay, he might not be able to walk away safely. Master, Lin Ming greeted Gandalf in front of the door. Did you memorize well the 2 spells I taught you yesterday? Gandalf spoke. He thought it was already good enough. If Lin Ming could recite the details, based on his monstrous behavior. After all, the 2 spells were complicated and hard to understand. Yes, I remember them. Lin Ming nodded and replied, that's good. Do you have any questions to ask? Gandalf asked again. Now, he was going to play both roles of teaching and solving confusion. Although the Fiery Phoenix spell was Gandalf's signature move, it was unchallenging compared to Fiery Curtain and Air Blast spell. The latter was also known as the nightmare of a mage's cultivation. Lin Ming lowered his head and answered truthfully. I have no more questions, Master. He had already maxed out his proficiency level, and he was now no more inferior than Gandalf's mastery. In terms of details, Lin Ming might have outdone Gandalf. The system itself would fix some of the flaws in the cultivation technique. After all, no more questions? Are you sure you remember everything? Gandalf thought he could be a mentor for once, but he least expected Lin Ming would be able to remember such complicated spells. No questions even. Yes, Master. Lin Ming nodded. It was true he didn't have any questions. All right, continue your cultivation for the day. Come and find me if you have any questions. Gandalf sighed. After taking in such a disciple, he felt a sense of defeat as his teacher. Yes, Lin Ming nodded again. He was not planning to display his outcome in front of Gandalf. In just 2 days, Gandalf had taught him 3 spells. These 3 spells were powerful, surpassing any spells in Green Magic Academy, and 3 different domains. They filled up what Lin Ming had lacked. Now that Lin Ming had learned a hovering spell, that was rare to have obtained. He could soar into the sky before reaching the Sage tier. The real reason why Gandalf had asked Lin Ming to continue his cultivation was because Gandalf didn't believe Lin Ming could master either of these 2 spells within a day. Wait, Gandalf, who was about to turn around, suddenly called. He thought his ideas could no longer apply to Lin Ming. A monster like Lin Ming didn't play by the rules at all. Lin Ming faced Gandalf. What's wrong, Master? Gandalf hesitated for seconds before speaking. Cast the 2 spells I taught you yesterday. It was forgivable if Lin Ming hadn't mastered them yet. Even if he managed to cast them, Gandalf could give him some pointers. Which one, Master? Lin Ming asked. Which one, did you? Gandalf lost his words. Let's begin with the Fiery Curtain first. He picked an uncomplicated spell. Okay. As Lin Ming nodded, magic elements instantly gathered around his body, condensing rapidly to form a shield surrounding Lin Ming. It was sturdy and could withstand many attacks. What? Gandalf was stunned. Lin Ming had cast the spell with ease. If Gandalf were to use it now, there would be no difference other than a more prominent effect. The distinct would arise from his status as a Sage tier mage. You? Gandalf stuttered before recovering. Lin Ming was a monster to begin with, and he rubbed his head as if to comfort himself. Master, is there anything that needs to be corrected? As Lin Ming sensed the awkward atmosphere, he could not help but want to ease it. Gandalf took a deep breath. No, you performed well. Was Lin Ming showing off? Looking at Lin Ming's serious look, Gandalf knew he had taken it wrong. Lin Ming was seeking advice humbly. Thank you for your guidance, Master. You taught me well. Lin Ming hurriedly bowed in case the atmosphere froze again. Gandalf could no longer stand Lin Ming's humble bragging, and waved his hand. All right, shut up. He changed the topic. How's your air blast spell? No matter how insanely talented he was, using one day to master Fiery Curtain must have been Lin Ming's limit, Gandalf thought. It's overpowering. I've been practicing since yesterday. Lin Ming answered. He didn't feel like using the spell now. He was worried it would be too much for Gandalf. Gandalf collected himself before asking again. I asked you how your cultivation is going. It's going well. It was the best answer Lin Ming could come up with for now. Well, Gandalf had no idea why Lin Ming's answer had made his heart pound. He depicted Lin Ming's words this way. He was almost done with his cultivation, perfecting his mastery. Come, show me how it goes, Gandalf encouraged. He wanted to witness Lin Ming's improvement and see how well he have grasped the spell. Of course, Lin Ming inhaled a deep breath and flew into the air. There was no point hiding it from Gandalf anymore. Although such insanity would only attract jealousy, Gandalf would never be one of them. What is going on? It's impossible. With his eyes stuck to Lin Ming in the air, Gandalf was dumbfounded. He couldn't believe Lin Ming had picked up 2 complex spells in one day, mastering them to the highest level, only reaching the highest level of the air blast spell. Could the user hover in the air? And now that Lin Ming was floating in the air with complete control, it meant his cultivation had maxed out, and his command was perfect. That was impossible. A Sage-tier mage like Gandalf would never be able to master it in such a short period. He couldn't even catch up to half of Lin Ming. Master, Lin Ming had already landed. Looking at Gandalf, he cupped his fists. Gandalf was at a loss for words. Someone took 2 days to become an expert in using his signature spell, his trump card. If he hadn't taken Lin Ming in, he would have believed Lin Ming was here to trash him. Gandalf stared at him in seriousness. How did you do it? After you taught me the 2 spells, I felt a special connection with them. So it took me little time to cultivate them. Lin Ming made up a reason. Gandalf was magnanimous. He would never be jealous of Lin Ming for his insane talent. Even if Lin Ming owned the divine artifact, Borobudur, Gandalf did not have any devious thoughts. However, if Lin Ming confessed to the system, then everything would change. It was every man for himself. The system's existence surpassed the stupa. Their difference is incomparable. Although Gandalf knew about Lin Ming's possession of the stupa, he didn't have ill intentions. However, Lin Ming was sure that if Gandalf knew about the system, Gandalf wouldn't have been able to control his state of mind. Of all the spells in the world, and you felt a special connection to my teachings? Gandalf snorted coldly. He didn't believe what Lin Ming said, naturally. He was a Sage-tier mage, not a fool. Master, do you think it has anything to do with my extraordinary talent? Lin Ming chuckled. Of course, it does, Gandalf replied grumpily. Lin Ming must be keeping something from him. But he wouldn't want to press Lin Ming further. After all, Lin Ming was his disciple now. He knew Lin Ming wouldn't have deserted him. Should anything have happened, this was enough. He didn't want their master-disciple relationship to be affected because of his pressure. That would have been a loss. Lin Ming, it is the first time I've witnessed such monstrous talent like you. Before this, I've never even heard of you. Gandalf sighed. Lin Ming's talent was unprecedented. That is why I firmly believe that your final achievement will not halt at Sage tier. And you should know that. This is the highest tier you could reach. It would have been more than enough to have one Sage tier mage serving an empire. And the reason why some empires could dominate the continent is that they worship more than one Sage-tier mage. It becomes a measure of an empire's strength. Gandalf's words flowed without stopping. He looked into Lin Ming's eyes and spoke the following words in a breath. And the reason why I said all of this is because you bring me hope that there is a possibility to surpass the Sage tier. Before I met you, I thought that this was the end. But I instinctively know there's a stronger level above this, as I couldn't break through my limit. The same goes for the Sage-tier mages in the other empires. We all stop advancing, stuck with what we currently have. There should be a more powerful realm above the Sage tier. And I'm not the only one who owns this feeling. Everyone does. And we did find a juncture, but we couldn't find any clues in there. Now I finally know, you are the perfect candidate for it. His eyes glinted with passion, picking his words carefully. Lin Ming, are you willing to explore the juncture on my behalf? Of course, Master, but I do have a question. Speak your concerns. As a Sage Tier Mage, aren't you more likely to find the clues in that juncture? That was Lin Ming's central suspicion. An opportunity like this was what every Sage Tier Mage would be dreaming of. You might not know, but the maximum tier for entry is Tier 7. Force entry will result in backlash. The consequence is more than unbearable even for a Sage Tier Mage. Gandalf cleared Lin Ming's doubt. The maximum is Tier 7? Lin Ming frowned. He hadn't thought about such a restriction. That's right, and we have a rule. Every Sage Tier Mage can only send in one disciple of theirs as a representative into the juncture. Each entry must be 4 years apart to maintain the balance. They had drafted a contract to prevent the juncture from being damaged. Any Sage Tier Mage who broke the rules would face being besieged by the others. So far, no one had broken the rules. Master, did you not participate before? Lin Ming wondered. He was Gandalf's first disciple. I did. I hired any random mages I could find. No one has found any clues so far. I am starting to get numb. Gandalf shook his head. If it weren't for your appearance, my hopes would still have been down. The final answer in the juncture wasn't as easy to obtain, and it became the reason why no one had acquired any clues. But Gandalf was excited over Lin Ming's talents. If someone like Lin Ming couldn't come back with anything, then Gandalf would finally give up. While every mage sent in would be a complete Tier 7, Gandalf wasn't worried about Lin Ming being Tier 6 at all. At Tier 3, Lin Ming could have beaten up a Tier 6 mage easily, let alone him in Tier 6 now facing a bunch of Tier 7. There was still time, and Gandalf had high hopes for Lin Ming. Lin Ming, if you could return with any clues, we would become the world's new standards in terms of strength. Gandalf spoke, no longer keeping his cold composure, but empowering and intimidating. Yes, Master, I will work hard. Lin Ming nodded. He, too, was invested in the clues. Sage Tier Mage wasn't his final goal. There is still a month, and you will master all your spells in this period. If you break through to Tier 7, you must suppress your advancement. Remember, if you surpass Tier 7, you will not be able to enter the juncture, Gandalf instructed. Yes, understood, Master. Come to me if you have any more questions, and I will solve them right away. I will not teach you any new spells for now. What you have learned so far is more than enough for a Tier 6. Gandalf patted Lin Ming's shoulder. 3 spells in 2 days, though Lin Ming was learning at an incredulous speed, perfecting his skills. Gandalf was oblivious about the system. He was more worried that Lin Ming would bite off more than he could chew. All the spells he had learned so far were sufficient, surpassing any other Tier 6 mage. Yes, Master. Lin Ming nodded. With his fiery phoenix spell being an attack spell, with a level 9 proficiency, he had no problems in battle, not forgetting mastering the defense spell and speed buff. Lin Ming did not plan to advance further, but remained at Tier 6 in the coming month. He needed to strengthen his foundation. Of course, he had his plans. Bai Han. After entering his room, Lin Ming spoke. Yes, Master. Bai Han showed up and stood respectfully in front of him. The previous master of the stupa had exceeded the Sage Tier. Am I correct? Lin Ming asked. Bai Han might provide more insight into the juncture and its mystery. Yes, Master. Was Lin Ming finally approaching that level? Bai Han wondered. Although Lin Ming was only a Tier 6 mage, he was unmistakably qualified. As Lin Ming guessed it right, he continued to probe. Could you tell me why the strongest tier for mages in this world is only Sage Tier? It's because the Azure and Earth have been damaged and can no longer breed a more powerful existence. Bai Han had been around for a long time, his knowledge vast. The Azure and Earth have been damaged? Lin Ming frowned. They all looked the same to him. The holy war between the gods and demons has damaged the Azure and Earth, Bai Han explained. So, do you know about the juncture that would lead to the answer of the Sage Tier Mage's breakthrough? Master, I have been trapped in the tower for a long time. After acknowledging you as my lord, I could only leave the inner part of the stupa. Therefore, there are certain things that I am not too clear about. Bai Han scratched his head. I understand. So far, the information was enough. Lin Ming knew he couldn't find every answer to his doubts from Bai Han. If so, it would mean nothing to travel to the juncture. Bai Han did not return, but instead, he spoke again. According to my guess, Master, it should be related to fate. Fate? Lin Ming's brows furrowed. As expected, Sage tier-related issues weren't as easy as they seemed. As for the rest, I have no idea. As Bai Han returned to the stupa, Lin Ming followed behind. Forget it, I'll need to search for the answers in the juncture. He stepped into the lightning pool. Feeling the sharp pain and numbness in his body, he entered a meditative state. Though difficult for commoners, it required high endurance and concentration. Time passed quickly, and Lin Ming spent every day in the lightning pool. On the 7th day, when Lin Ming approached the pool center, he could absorb the lightning energy inside. It was a discovery for him. While he refined his body, he absorbed the lightning energy ravenously. In the process, his bone structure began to change. During the final few days, traces of lightning flashed across Lin Ming's warm, jade-like skin, and on the last day, every cell in his bones, flesh, and blood was charged with lightning powers. Even after he left the pool, his body continued to take in more lightning elements. And the spells he cast, they contained lightning magic, too. Lin Ming now had a certain degree of resistance to lightning attacks. At night before the day of their departure, Gandalf called, "Lin Ming, Master." Lin Ming had just finished his training in the lightning pool. "We will set off tomorrow. Are you ready?" "Yes, I'm ready." Lin Ming had nothing to prepare. When Gandalf studied Lin Ming, his brows pulled together. "Did your realm not change in the past month?" He had advised Lin Ming to slow down, but now Lin Ming had no improvements. "I didn't want to rush it, Master. So I didn't break through." To Lin Ming, tears weren't everything. But his growth was tremendous. It was better than staying in the spirit pool for a month. I believe in you." Ganfud nodded. He sensed that Lin Ming's foundation was even more solid. Lin Ming had improved in other areas. "You have a good rest for the night. Prepare what you need to prepare. We'll leave tomorrow morning. Also, this spiritual treasure is for you, as a reward for entering the juncture on behalf of me." Gandalf pulled out a magic staff from his ring and handed it to Lin Ming. Lin Ming took it without hesitation, holding the staff in his hand. Lin Ming felt as if his breathing had become smoother. A system notification appeared. "Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining the Staff of Blazing Power. With this magic staff, you will be able to release fire magic. The magic effects will increase by 30%. 30%, Lin Ming gasped internally. He wasn't disappointed with Gandalf's gifts. The 30% buff he received was a qualitative improvement to his powers. "Thank you, Master." Lin Ming bowed in excitement. "No thanks needed. Do not leave me behind. If you ever find the clues in the juncture." Gandalf waved his hand, speaking his mind. He had another motive in giving his precious spiritual treasure to Lin Ming. While Lin Ming saw through him, he didn't mind at all. Lin Ming would never disappoint Gandalf. At least the clue would be of use to him. Gandalf stared at the stuff, his words somewhat reluctant. "The Staff of Blazing Power has served me for years. From today onwards, it belongs to you. Use it well." "Yes, Master. Rest assured, with your staff in my hands, I would never tarnish your reputation." Lin Ming nodded. He detected Gandalf's resistance, but he would never reject such an opportunity. "You brat, I know that." Gandalf smiled. Only a monster like Lin Ming could draw out the real power of the Staff of Blazing Power. "You do not have any favors needed, am I right?" he asked. "Yes, Master, I'm all good, but if only I could get my hands on another defensive spiritual treasure, that would be great. The danger would always be lurking in the juncture. I'm worried that I couldn't react in time." Lin Ming rubbed his hands, staring at Gandalf with his puppy eyes. Gandalf knew what Lin Ming was up to. Lin Ming was clear enough. Gandalf's items were top-notch, and naturally, Lin Ming wouldn't let go of such a chance. "You brat, the staff is half of my blood and sweat." Gandalf grunted. "But you do need a defensive spiritual treasure." He sighed. If he had known earlier, he would have given Lin Ming what he wanted directly. "I have not given you your welcome gift yet. Here." Gandalf retrieved a spiritual treasure from his ring. It was only the size of a palm, placed in the middle of his grip. "This is the defensive spiritual treasure of the Vajrapatra. As you activate your magic powers, the Vajrapatra would hover over your head, deflecting all attacks. Of course, there is a limit it can withstand." He handed the item to Lin Ming. "Thank you, Master." Lin Ming was excited as Gandalf shifted his magic powers into it. The Vajrapatra now had a high defensive aptitude. The Vajrapatra has an auto-trigger in protecting its owner. You now need to drip your blood onto it, and when danger comes, its first mechanism would have protected you automatically. Okay. Lin Ming dropped his drip of blood on the Vajrapatra. In an instant, it turned into a spiritual robe and wrapped around Lin Ming. It was weightless, and it wouldn't hinder Lin Ming's movements. But the defense was on point, as expected of Gandalf's products. My greatest gratitude to you, Master. No formalities are needed between you and me. Gandalf waved his hand. He had just experienced an immense loss of his assets. Still, Lin Ming was his only disciple. It only made sense to pass his items on. Rest well tonight. We will leave tomorrow. Gandalf turned away. Yes. Lin Ming nodded, holding the 2 spiritual treasures that he had just obtained. Lin Ming cracked into a smile. He was confident that he could crush his opponent this time. That night, Lin Ming didn't re-enter the lightning pool. There wouldn't be much effect anyway. He wanted to improve his condition to the best within one night. Lin Ming knew the Sage tier mages wouldn't be chatty. After they all arrived, they would enter the juncture straight. Though Lin Ming had enough confidence, there were too many unknowns within the juncture. And he was not better prepared. The next day, when Lin Ming and Gandalf appeared at the front at the same time, Lin Ming bowed. Master, no matter what realm, etiquette was the most crucial. Gandalf was pleased to see Lin Ming in his top condition. Very well, let us depart. Instantly, magic surrounded them. They didn't need any treasures to help them soar. And they flew towards the southeast at high speed. Even if they were fast, it took them half a day to reach their destination. Gandalf, you are the latest again, a few voices murmured. I know your battered soul desires nothing. Next time, send out your notice, and we shall not wait for you. A Sage tier mage teased. If I do not come, would you be able to unlock the door to the juncture? Gandalf snorted. He wasn't anxious at all, because he was one of the keys to opening the portal. Every Sage tier mage must be present, to prevent anyone from sneaking in. Gandalf, did I hear that your old den was gone? Another mage asked. What old den? It is a place for cultivation. Changes happen eventually. Gandalf waved his hand. I heard the castle you were living in has awakened. And it acknowledged a new owner? From whom did you hear it? I have been guarding there every day. And I haven't the faintest idea. That is a load of crap. Gandalf scoffed. His expression remained unchanged. You sly fox, you are still not admitting it, unless it acknowledged you instead. The surrounding mages closed in on Gandalf. After all, the stupa was one of the great 4 divine artifacts. With it, no Sage tier mage could fight him one-on-one. Nonsense. If it were me, what am I still doing here? Gandalf denied. And this young boy? All gazes shifted to Lin Ming now. Is the reason for our gathering today a fight? Suddenly, Gandalf's aura erupted, forcing the few of them to retreat. Are we still going into the juncture today? You do not seem too invested in the idea. Shall we cancel? Gandalf snorted coldly. No, we were fooling about. They knew Gandalf's lack of interest. But if Gandalf left now, wouldn't their plans go to waste? A voice appeared. All right, Gandalf, we were just playing around. Gandalf didn't speak a word. It was just for show. He wouldn't leave because this year he brought Lin Ming with him. It is dangerous inside. Mages die every year, so you must be careful, a Sage tier mage said. Yes. Several mages nodded. Open. All Sage tier mages cast the spell at once. In an instant, a black hole appeared. Gandalf looked at Lin Ming. Go, now. Okay. Lin Ming nodded and entered the juncture. The others followed. Lin Ming managed to sweep a glance at the other disciples. As expected, all of them were at the peak of tier 7. Lin Ming, who was only a tier 6 mage, naturally caught everyone's attention. Especially the Sage tier mages. They were slyboots, though they knew Gandalf lacked interest. He'd never brought a tier 6 mage before. Now that he did, it just proved that there was more to it than met the eye. Plus, with Stupa acknowledging a new master, their imagination ran wild. As the last of the disciples entered, the Sage tier mages cast their spells again. A few displays with each disciple hovered midair. Everyone fell into silence. Inside the juncture, Lin Ming studied the surrounding pitch-black environment. A sense of oppression settling in. He discovered something. He could not absorb magic elements in this dimension. In other words, he could only use the magic available in his body. This place was a mage's nightmare. Lin Ming took out a bottle of recovery potion from his ring and tried to replenish his magic power. But it was no use either. He frowned and muttered, a warning would have been nice, master. Gandalf, who was outside the juncture, face-palmed himself. He had forgotten, though he was confident with Lin Ming. Relying only on the magic in his body wasn't the best choice for any battle. Something clicked in Lin Ming. Bai Han, the spirit pool in the stupa, he could absorb the magic in the pool and be rid of his concern. Master, transfer the magic elements in the spirit pool into my body, Lin Ming ordered. Bai Han did not show himself because someone might be supervising Lin Ming. Yes, following that, Lin Ming felt the magic elements in his body rapidly replenishing. His body was already full of magical elements, but taking precautions was better. Phew, Lin Ming let out a sigh of relief and strode forward. As long as he had sufficient magic power, it wouldn't be an issue. Whoosh, a flame appeared in Lin Ming's hand, illuminating the darkness. Why does this place seem familiar? Lin Ming looked around. There was a sense of déjà vu. Noticing a remote path, he stepped forward. Many withered bones were lying on the ground, signifying the number of mages who'd sacrificed here. This path was dangerous. Lin Ming revved up his alertness. Hiss. Sure enough, just as Lin Ming advanced another step, a giant python appeared. Its head was big enough to swallow Lin Ming whole. It was when he finally realized the source of the dried bones. It's of the dark element. Dark element creatures were rare, and Lin Ming had a few encounters with them. He did not expect to meet a dark element magical beast in the juncture. They had stronger physical and magic attacks than any same level beasts, their strikes poisonous and corrosive. They were a handful, but this was only a reminder for Lin Ming to be extra careful. As for the dark python in front of him, it posed no threat to him at all. Dazzling dragon spell, Lin Ming summoned. It should be enough. The spell emitted a blazing flame, engulfing the dark python. After it died down, not even its bone was left. Outside the juncture, Gandalf, your tier 6 mage is pretty good. A sage tier mage next to Gandalf spoke. He was a distant relative of the principal of the Empire's academy. He was informed in detail of everything that had happened during the competition in the secret realm. He could infer that the tier 6 mage was something, or at least Stupa, the summit of the Great Four, had fallen in the mage's hands. In addition, Lin Ming's attacks were swift and full of power. A tier 6 mage annihilating a tier 8 dark python. He knew Lin Ming was a dark horse. Save it, we could have done it when we were tier 6 now. Couldn't we? Gandalf waved his hand. Tall trees catch much wind. He didn't want his disciple caught in the middle of a storm. But there was only so much he could hide from the others. Of course, with Gandalf around, the other mages would not dare to act rashly. Inside the juncture, Lin Ming continued to move forward. There were a few spiritual weapons on the ground, but they were already damaged. He brushed across them. Mages killed by the dark python wouldn't have owned good weapons anyway. He arrived at a cave. The water from the ceiling was dripping, giving off a creepy vibe. He gazed around and instantly understood his familiar feeling. He was in a tomb. The so-called juncture was a tomb? Lin Ming frowned and scanned his surroundings. But it's too small for a tomb. It must be a part of the juncture, similar to the first floor secret realm of Stupa. Screech. A sudden attack was hurled at Lin Ming. He activated the fiery curtain to block the attack. You're a mage? Lin Ming stared at his opponent. It wasn't a competition, and under such circumstances, the chances of mages encountering and working together were higher. They were notable disciples of the sage tier mage, or else they wouldn't even be here. And forming a pact gave them higher chances of winning. When another mage attacked him, Lin Ming's brows pulled together. If someone were aiming at him, he would not let them off this easily. Dazzling dragon spell. Flames engulfed the guy across Lin Ming. Black smoke belched out from his foe, pushing Lin Ming's flames away. A dark mage? Lin Ming's eyes widened. The guy in front of him mustn't be one of the sage tier mage's disciples, and none of the sage tier mages he'd heard about was of a dark magic user. He must originate from the tomb itself. The opponent was of tier 7, and with him casting dark magic, his attacks were hard to predict. He was strong. Outside the juncture, all eyes were on Lin Ming. They were expectant of what Gandalf's plans were. A dark mage. Is every creature in the juncture of the dark element? Lin Ming wondered. He came up with a few hypotheses. Fiery Phoenix spell. He used 70% of his powers. It engulfed the dark mage, disabling his defense. When the dark mage turned into ashes, a black magical core dropped to the ground. Lin Ming picked up the shimmering object and threw it back to the floor instantly. When he assembled his magic powers to destroy its outer core, it didn't leave any damage. He stored the high defense item in his ring, It would come in use one day. Why does your apprentice not recharge his magical powers? Did you not give him anything to work with? Outside the juncture, a sage-tier mage asked, "You do like sticking your nose into someone else's business." Gandalf snorted, annoyed. It was true. He did not give Lin Ming any magic replenishing items. His disinterest was overwhelmed by Lin Ming's appearance, and he forgot the most important task at hand. Though no one else noticed, Gandalf saw Lin Ming take out his magical potion, yet potions didn't work in the juncture. "You know, I was just worried about you and your disciple. It is hard to survive to the end without any replenishing items." The mage continued to fan the flames. It triggered Gandalf, making his brows furrow. Entering the juncture was entirely different from competitions. In competitions, you could crush the teleportation crystal and leave the secret realm should anything dangerous happen. You would get serious injuries, but so far, nothing life-threatening has ever happened. But for the juncture, the portal would only reopen at the last minute. No one could leave before that, even if they suffered hazardous injuries. If Lin Ming exhausted his magical powers, it would mean he'd be in grave danger. Still, these were the thought processes in Gandalf. He didn't know that Lin Ming was restoring his magic powers with the spirit pool in the stupa. "Master, the magical core you obtained is an item to control dark magic," said Bai Han in Lin Ming's mind. Lin Ming took out the core and pondered it. The dark python didn't have a magical core. The core only controlled the dark mage. Was the dark mage one of the previous disciples who entered the juncture? He shivered, pushing the thoughts away from his head. Once again, Lin Ming studied his surroundings. At his 12 was an enormous chair. He paced forward, grabbed a rock, and threw it at the chair. Boom! An attack came from above the chair. The rock turned into dust. Tisk tisk. Curiosity killed the cat. He was lucky that he tested it out, or he would have been the one injured. If the chair had traps like this, it meant it was protecting something valuable. His gaze traced up where the attack came from. It was a spiritual weapon. The attacks weren't one-offs. Casting the air blast spell, Lin Ming floated towards the spiritual weapon. There weren't other traps, and he removed the item and aimed it at the chair. Boom! With such a powerful attack, it didn't do any damage to the chair. Lin Ming came to his realization. There must be hidden secrets in the chair. Can it be? He activated the Vajrapatra and drew closer. This time, no traps had activated. He held and moved the chair, but it didn't budge. When he diverted his magic powers to his hand, the chair spun along with his power flow. Crack! With the chair moving, it opened a secret passage behind. Intense dark magic welled from behind the stone door. Fiery curtain. Flames shot from his body, obstructing the corrosive dark magic. Lin Ming did not want any of it near him. Outside the juncture, does the kid own such high storage of magical powers? Gandalf knitted his brows together. As he watched Lin Ming cast his spells, he didn't notice him replenishing his powers so far, but he wouldn't know what was happening. Only a divine artifact could have helped achieve that. There were 4 in total, and none of the sage-tier mages had acquired them. They only knew of Stupa as the summit from the records. Inside the juncture, the dark magic had almost depleted. Lin Ming advanced. As a safeguard, he activated the Vajrapatra to protect himself. With the stupa, Lin Ming needn't worry about using up his magic power. He needed to keep his guard up in such an unsafe place. The secret chamber must have been sealed for a long time. As Lin Ming entered, a rotten smell rushed straight to his nose. Lin Ming winced. Flame burst out from his skin, lighting up the room. In the center of the chamber was a throne, and on it was a man in a black robe sitting on it. Judging by his limp appearance, it should be dead. Lin Ming looked around, and nothing else was in there. He slowly approached the throne. As he confirmed it was no longer living, he turned to leave. Dead meant no value, but with the heavy traps set up, he had thought there was something inside. Thud, the stone door closed. "You're not letting me go?" Lin Ming frowned. After so many years, there is finally a taste of flesh and blood. It must be delicious. Behind Lin Ming, a hoarse voice appeared. Lin Ming turned around, his eyes on the man in the black robe, who was now standing up. All tricks but nothing. Lin Ming snorted coldly. His waves of flames enshrouded the man. Petty tricks. The black-robed man puffed. Dark magic appeared and engulfed Lin Ming's flames. Since the flames didn't work, Lin Ming used another approach. Dazzling dragon spell. It forced the man to stumble back due to the stress. but he managed to steady himself. You are something. Lin Ming nodded. The man across from him was the strongest opponent he had ever met. He managed to knock him backward, but it didn't cause any substantial damage. When I rip your head off later, you will know I'm not just something. As if he heard a joke. The black-robed man's voice was hoarse as he laughed out loud. The most powerful asset of a mage is his magic. But if you lose your asset, you will be nothing. And dark mages do not have any weaknesses. Piercing of the darkness. The man disappeared. A mage, especially, cannot withstand a single blow. Today, I shall grind your body into powder. The black-robed man teleported to Lin Ming's side and landed a hard blow from his fist. He thought Lin Ming was like other weak mages and was on the chopping block. And he was confident with his dark magic. And what he met with was Lin Ming's grin. The man's eye twitched. Instantly, pain shot up from his fist. By only holding his hand up, Lin Ming blocked the man's attack. As Lin Ming closed his fingers, the man's bones crushed. You, the man almost shrieked. It seems like the body of a dark mage isn't as good as this mage's, Lin Ming mocked and kicked, sending the man across the room. The man struggled to get up. Outside the juncture, everyone stared blankly at Lin Ming's attack. No wonder Gandalf sent a tier 6 mage in. His physical strength alone was invincible. Gandalf had anticipated such an outcome. Lin Ming had fought 15 tier 7 magical beasts and taken them down alone. With his physical strength, the black-robed man stood no chance. Inside the juncture, Lin Ming walked forward and closed in on the black-robed man. Let's see how strong you are. He beat the man up with his punches. The man couldn't defend himself. His screams echoing in the chamber. He was perplexed how a tier 6 could own immense strength. Could his foe be training both magic and physical power? But he couldn't keep his mind straight because of the pain. I swear I will never do this again. Please spare me. The black-robed man begged as he cried. What he thought was his hunting moment became his pleading moment. Please, spare me, sir. I have information useful to you, he continued. Lin Ming stopped, amused. He needed to probe. Oh, tell me about it. I could control all the mages in this dimension. Well, good to know, but I can kill them in an instant. Why do I need you? There are certain things only a dark mage could achieve. Sir, if you let me go, I will not disappoint you. All right, you can come with me. Lin Ming shot the man a glare. Remember, no more tricks. Yes, sir, the man hurried his words, afraid of another round of beating. Seed of Flame. Lin Ming condensed pure, elite magical elements and planted them inside the man. If you have any wicked thoughts, your body will ignite from the inside. If I were you, I wouldn't take any chances. Not to worry, sir, the man complied. He stepped forward and turned the throne. The stone door gradually opened. Lin Ming walked out of the secret chamber, with the man following behind. Come forth, said the man hoarsely. A dark mage showed up in front of Lin Ming. The dark mage stood behind Lin Ming and did not attack. It seemed like what the black-robed man was saying was true. Lin Ming turned to the black-robed man and asked, what is it that you said only dark mages can do? An ebony pool, sir. Only a dark mage could enter. Ebony pool? Gandalf had never mentioned this before. Perhaps the black-robed man was the right person for the job. But what does the pool do? There is a key in the pool. All the mages coming in here must be looking for it. His words piqued Lin Ming's interest. Then no one has been able to obtain this key. For such a long time? Or rather, no one has tamed you before? Lin Ming asked. He thought the man's bones were soft. It took him only a few punches before the man knelt and begged. Revealing so many clues, the juncture opened once every 4 years, and he found it hard to believe how his seniors weren't this man's match. Of course, sir, many had fought me, but I am immune to magical attacks. Even if they used magic to kill me, I could quickly repair my body and regain my consciousness. The man spoke in pride. In the juncture, he was indestructible. Aren't you afraid of the pain? Lin Ming grinned. Magic attacks are ineffective against me, sir. All the mages I had encountered were either too panicked to react or slaughtered by me. No one ever came into close combat. True enough. Lin Ming nodded. The highest-ranked mage in the juncture was only tier 7, and their physical strength was no match. Facing a horrifying dark mage, command a few dark mages and lead me to the ebony pool. Yes, sir. As the man cast his spell, another 2 dark mages joined their group. He moved to the front and led Lin Ming forward. Outside of the juncture, All Sage tier mages were observing Lin Ming nervously. They hadn't expected Gandalf's disciple could discover new clues on his first visit. If there were hints of breakthroughs in the ebony pool, they would even bow down to him. Inside the juncture, Lin Ming followed the black-robed man for 4 hours. Before arriving, he was amazed by the size of the juncture. "Sir, we have finally arrived. Can you bring me the key now?" The man instructed the 3 dark mages to head into the pool. Go. Even when Lin Ming was so far away, he could feel the corrosive and harmful nature of the ebony pool. But the man was right. For dark mages it posed no problem entering and leaving the pool, just like humans diving into hot springs. The black-robed man lowered his head. "Sir." Lin Ming raised a brow. "What's the matter?" "I lost contact with my men. I need to go down myself to take a look." "I have your seed of flame. You could rest assured, sir." "All right." After receiving Lin Ming's affirmation, the man marched into the ebony pool. He heaved a sigh of relief. He could feel the flame threatening his life being extinguished. "Thank you for trusting me, sir. I will go and find the key for you right now." The man cracked up and mocked. "You are good, sir. But you are not smart enough." Outside of the juncture, all Sage tier mages shook their heads in disappointment. They thought Lin Ming could find something. It had been so many years, after all. Though Lin Ming was powerful, he would give his trust away without a doubt. How could he have believed in a dark mage? Inside the juncture, Lin Ming smiled at the arrogant man. He knew the dark magic in the ebony pool could put out his seed of flame. He had other plans in his mind. Whoosh! While the man was still laughing uncontrollably, a black object flew into his mouth. He froze. He knew something was wrong. "What do you think this is?" Lin Ming pulled out a chain of bells. "My soul-absorbing bells." The man's face turned white with fright. Just a moment ago, it was still on his waist. How did it suddenly end up in Lin Ming's hands? As Lin Ming walked behind the man, he had guessed that the man was controlling other dark mages through the bells. Thus, before the man entered the pool for his devious ideas, Lin Ming snatched the soul-absorbing bells over. The man was too absorbed in his victory to have noticed his bells were gone. Lin Ming smirked. "Guess what just entered your mouth?" "A magical core." "You." The man's jaw fell open. "You're good, but you talk too much. If it weren't for your talking, you would only have lost the soul-absorbing bells. Now, before I use the bells to control you, come back up here at once." Lin Ming pointed to his side. Pale-faced, the man returned to Lin Ming. After the core entered his body, it would fuse with his soul. It was only after death that the core would reconsolidate. The man gave up restraining. "So the key you talked about earlier, is it true?" That was what was on Lin Ming's mind all along. Mages below tier 7 couldn't step into the pool. If there was a key at the bottom, it was invaluable. And no one else had reached for it yet. "It's real, sir." The man returned his words carefully. "What does the key unlock?" "An entrance at the bottom of the ebony pool, sir." "The bottom of the pool? You sure you aren't pulling another trick?" Lin Ming scoffed. The man was sly and deceitful. If it hadn't been Lin Ming's wit, the man would have tricked him. "I dare not, sir." Lin Ming was in control of him now. Even if he had something else on his mind, he couldn't cast it. "I do not trust you now." Lin Ming shook his head. "I have no clue how far the soul-absorbing bells could reach. You could see from my point of view through the bells, sir. There is no need to worry about my escape." "I can? Great. Teach me how." Lin Ming was interested. He didn't think the bells would be this useful. "Shift your consciousness onto the bell, and from the bells, you could enter my mind." Lin Ming nodded and gave it a try. Through the bells, he saw different viewpoints. They were all from the dark mages. But it was then that it hit Lin Ming. He could no longer return to his body, nor control the black-robed man. At this second, the man smirked as he advanced toward Lin Ming. He believed this was the end for Lin Ming. Outside of the juncture, Gandalf was nervous. He knew how robust Lin Ming was, his magical powers top level, but his consciousness was untrained. Only after reaching the sage tier, that a mage's mind enter spirituality and advance from there. As the man in black pulled dark magic together, it encircled Lin Ming within. He laughed. "No matter how meticulous you are, you can never escape the fate of becoming my food." He reached his hand to claim his soul-absorbing bell back. Then, only the man would be free, as the magical core would already be fused with his body. But when he touched the bells and pulled, he flinched. It wouldn't budge. You want it? I'll give it to you. The sudden approach of Lin Ming's voice made the man's heart sink. Impossible, he roared, except dark mages could control it. Only sage tier mages could integrate with the bells and regain their consciousness. Mages other than that would have taken a long time. But Lin Ming's consciousness just entered. How was his mind not imprisoned? Was he a sage tier mage? No, sage tier mages couldn't enter the juncture. Here is your gift. Lin Ming shoved the bells into the man's hand. Sir, I was fooling around. I knew you could have succeeded in integrating. When your mind entered the bell, I was lightening the mood up. I hope you do not mind me. The man tried to laugh it off. He returned the chain of bells to Lin Ming. Lin Ming didn't need the bells anymore. He could now control the man without the item. And he had erased the man's consciousness from the bell. You do have a lot of tricks up your sleeve. Lin Ming studied the man. The man had been trying to set him up right from the start. Had he not been prepared, the man would have gotten his way. I learned my lesson, sir. I won't do it again. The man got to his knees. Now, Lin Ming had complete control of him. Last chance. If you play any more of your tricks, I will remove your consciousness. You could revive if your physical body died. But with your consciousness deleted, the man jumped in. Yes, I understand. He knew Lin Ming was talking about his ultimate weakness. As long as his consciousness remained in the juncture, he would live, but without that, he would cease to exist. Get down there and open the door, Lin Ming ordered. It is dangerous to know what's behind the door, sir. There. A dark magical beast exists. If you unlock the door, I am afraid. The man tried to stop Lin Ming. No worries. Just open it. Lin Ming waved his hand. Seeing the hesitating man, he snorted. Do not make me repeat myself. Yes. The man nodded and hurried into the pool. From the man's perspective, Lin Ming could observe everything in the ebony pool. The pool was formed from the surrounding rich dark magic. And it wasn't too big. Not long after, the man retrieved the key under Lin Ming's spying. With his hand trembling, he unlocked the door and ran the opposite way. Roar! A thunderous roar pierced the air. Instantly, the dark magical beast absorbed all the magical elements. Tier 8 dark magical beast? Lin Ming pulled his brows together. Wasn't the highest rank tier 7 in the juncture? But never mind, it was still a piece of cake for Lin Ming. The reason why the man in black was horrified was because of the beast's powerful physique. Standing this close to it, he was afraid it would finish him in one blow. Though his consciousness would remain, he wouldn't want to experience the pain. The man hid behind Lin Ming. He fantasized about the beast doing him a favor, killing Lin Ming for him. That was the only way to regain his freedom. He also believed Lin Ming would act right away to deal with the beast. Lin Ming still needed him, and that was why he didn't erase his consciousness. As for Lin Ming, he couldn't care less what the man was thinking. Fiery Phoenix Spell. The spell knocked back the charging beast, dealing damage to the tier 8 dark magical beast. Dazzling Dragon Spell. Lin Ming summoned 8 dragons in that instant. Merge. His palms came together, and the 8 dragons fused into one. The spell he was using now was more vigorous than the one he used in the secret realm. As the 8 dragons combined, the surging power within them caused the man hiding behind Lin Ming to tremble in fear. He knew if Lin Ming decided to use a magical attack on him, Lin Ming would have destroyed his consciousness along the way. Slay. Lin Ming murmured, the dragon engulfing the beast. Without room for resistance, the beast turned into ashes. Recovering from the shock, the man flattered. Oh mighty lord. Lin Ming looked over his shoulder. Go and fetch the dropped item. Yes. The man hurried and retrieved the item. It was a magical core the same size as the black-robed man's. But there was another item. A toe bone the size of Lin Ming's palm, as the rest of the beast had turned into ashes. The toe bone must be a crucial clue. Lin Ming stored the bone and magical core in the ring. Let's go. Now that all dark magic was gone, the door was unobstructed. Lin Ming walked through the door, observing. It's another tomb? His brows furrowed. Look, sir. The man pointed. Lin Ming followed his gaze. On the table was an emerald token, heavy in Lin Ming's hold. He tried to direct magic powers into it, and it started glimmering with streaks. It was a map, and there was a red mark. After finding where they were, he noticed they weren't far away from the red dot. Do you know the place? Lin Ming asked the man. Each of us dark mages has our domains, sir. That is not mine, so I have not been there yet. Lin Ming had something on his mind. Do you mean there are other mages with the soul-absorbing bells? Yes, and there are ranks to us dark mages. Ranks? It looked like no matter where he went, a ranking system would always rule the place. Yes, and I am the weakest, hence my rank is lowest. My domain is smaller, too. If someone of a higher rank enters my domain, I need to follow that mage's instructions. So you're at the bottom? Yes, but it is better than nothing. Having my consciousness and domain. Most of the mages here were soulless puppets, waiting to be controlled. The man sighed. He was content with what he had, and no other stronger mages would intrude on his domain, usually. One more question. Do tell, sir. The man lowered his head. Tier 7 is not the highest level of a mage in the juncture, is it? The second the Tier 8 dark magical beast appeared, Lin Ming realized this. He wanted to confirm his suspicion. The limit to the mage's tier entering this place cannot exceed Tier 7, or they would face a backlash. But after entering this place, advancing further would not be a problem, the man answered. He knew because there were dark mages with levels higher than Tier 7. Got it. What is the level of the dark mage at the place we're heading? Tier 7. He has tamed a Tier 8 dark magical beast. His combat strength powerful. That's easy. Yes, it's nothing compared to your power, sir. The man mumbled, his face glum. Lead the way. Let's go. And they departed. As the man in black had control over the dark mages in his domain, there were no battle encounters along the way. Outside of the juncture, Gandalf didn't blink once. No one had ever progressed this far in looking for clues. And he had another important question. How was Lin Ming still holding up this well? After casting so many spells, he didn't replenish his magic elements. Inside the juncture, sir, we are leaving my domain. I would not get attacked. But you, Lin Ming got the context. No worries. The dark mages here would cause him no harm. The man heaved a breath of relief. He was worried Lin Ming would ask him to fight instead. Since the man in black had no control over other dark mages, that would be the end of him once Lin Ming left the juncture. Slay. Lin Ming destroyed 2 dark mages appearing. They weren't too strong. Continue ahead, Lin Ming ordered. The man nodded. He wanted to reach the destination as soon as they could, avoiding being discovered by the domain's master. Here we are. It was a stone door in front of them, an indentation similar to the token on Lin Ming's in the middle. Lin Ming held up the emblem, ready to place it. Mages from the outside world? A voice came. Lin Ming knitted his brows together. He didn't need to turn to know who it was. Number 7. How dare you lead extraterritorial mages to my domain? The dark mage stared at the man in black and said indifferently. Hear me out, please, Number 6. Save your nonsense for later. The dark mage called Number 6 had no interest in hearing Number 7's excuse. Are you here to become my appetizer? Following the dark mage's whistle, a gigantic dark magical beast appeared. That was the Tier 8 beast he tamed. Lin Ming already grasped the information beforehand. Tisk tisk. Did the sight of my Tier 8 dark magical beast intimidate you, Tier 6 mage? Number 6 scoffed. Number 7 winced internally. If Number 6 hadn't come, he would have kept himself alive. Now, Number 6 was digging his own grave. The Tier 6 mage in front of them was nothing they'd ever seen before. Without more dawdling, Lin Ming cast his attack, Fiery Phoenix spell, as their destination was behind the door. He was eager to proceed and obtain the clue. He used 100% of his power. The spell annihilated the beast instantly. Number 6 flinched. Impossible. Lin Ming tossed the magical core left behind by the dead beast to Number 6. Swallow this, and I shall spare your life. Not over my dead body. Number 6 thought he was better than Number 7. I know the source of your stubbornness. It is because your consciousness would not perish, am I right? Lin Ming smirked. Last chance. Number 6 shivered. Chills ran down his spine. He finally understood how the cunning Number 7 was tagging along behind Lin Ming submissively. He uttered softly, I am a Tier 7 dark mage. You are merely a Tier 6. Before he could finish, scorching flames had encompassed him. Number 6 could no longer withstand the pressure. I will engulf it. He shoved it into his mouth. At the same time, Lin Ming integrated Number 6's soul-absorbing bells as he held them in his hand. The reason why Number 6 had admitted defeat was that Lin Ming's flames had not only harmed his physical body, but he was afraid his consciousness might vanish, too. Lin Ming kept Number 6 alive because he needed more intelligence, and Number 7, being the lowest in the food chain, would not suffice. He held the token up and placed it in the indentation on the door. A green laser shot out, and the door opened slowly. He walked in. Another tomb? It was the same as his previous discoveries. But here there was a coffin. Open the coffin. Lin Ming activated the soul-absorbing bells mentally and instructed Number 7. Number 7 was frightened, but he couldn't control his body. Thud. Number 7 pushed the lid open. Nothing happened, but inside they discovered a complete set, a pillow and a shroud. On the bottom of the coffin were a few words. That caught Lin Ming's attention. To enter the realm, thou shalt convert to the dead. The words disappeared. Lin Ming sank into his thoughts. He was here to find clues for the Sage Tier Mage's breakthrough. And the sentence he saw was most probably a clue. Convert to the dead? Lin Ming frowned. Does anyone have to die to get the final clue? Or was approaching death the key to obtaining the hint? Maybe not. He shook his head. As he examined the pillow and shroud in the coffin, something clicked in Lin Ming's mind. He turned to look at Number 6 and 7, the dark mages. They weren't faithful enough. Bai Han showed up. Master, I need you to keep an eye on the two. If they attempt anything, activate the soul-absorbing bells to erase their consciousness. Yes, you have my word. If the two make a move on you, I will remove their existence without using the bells, even. Bai Han took over the bells from Lin Ming. Bai Han wasn't visible to Number 6 and 7, and even the Sage Tier mages outside the juncture. As an artifact spirit, he was ethereal. Only Lin Ming or any other mages surpassing the Sage Tier could see Bai Han. Now, no matter what, Lin Ming had to give it a try. He put on the linen shroud and rested his head on the pillow. Under Bai Han's control, Number 7 came forward to close the lid. Lin Ming closed his eyes and held his breath. As seconds passed, nothing happened. Confined in the coffin, Lin Ming felt like he was suffocating. Have I been wrong? Lin Ming pursed his lips. Perhaps the clue was somewhere else in the tomb? Impossible. Lin Ming closed his eyes when he entered this secret chamber just now. Other than this coffin, there was nothing else that existed. On top of that, this coffin was in the middle of the secret chamber. Such an eye-catching position was definitely the most valuable position. Lin Ming could also recognize the style of this juncture. It simply didn't have the style of doing the opposite. Therefore, Lin Ming entered the coffin, not entirely because of his intuition. And even if ordinary people racked their brains, they wouldn't have directly entered the coffin like Lin Ming. So now, Lin Ming had just so happened to enter the checkpoint of the design. It was just that the current Lin Ming hadn't mastered the secret to finding clues. The dead? Lin Ming thought of the words in the coffin he saw just now. It's not to become a real dead, but instead have the appearance of a dead. Thinking of this, Lin Ming held his breath. On top of that, Lin Ming controlled his heartbeat and pulse to an extremely low level. At this moment, the vital signs on Lin Ming's body were extremely weak. And as Lin Ming entered this state, his breath of life became weaker and weaker. Not long after, Lin Ming's brain started to feel dizzy. Lin Ming continued to stay in this state. Not long after, Lin Ming's brain went blank. Huh? Suddenly, the scene in front of Lin Ming changed. Master. At this moment, Bai Han, who was outside the coffin, frowned and disappeared from where he was. At this moment, Number 6 and Number 7, the two masters of the dark, also stood on the spot in a daze. This was because Lin Ming's aura had disappeared at this moment. Bai Han quickly returned to the stupa, where he saw Lin Ming, who was in no danger. Lin Ming was still in the coffin, but the aura of Lin Ming's body had completely disappeared. Lin Ming was like a dead person. However, Bai Han could clearly feel that Lin Ming wasn't affected at all. Do you two want to die? Thinking that no one was there to control them, Number 6 and Number 7 approached the coffin. Bai Han's voice interrupted their thoughts of opening the coffin. Number 6 and Number 7 quickly moved away from the coffin and quietly stood guard in the distance. Although they couldn't see Bai Han's figure, they could only see the soul-absorbing bells floating in the air. However, Bai Han was an artifact spirit of a divine artifact, so the pressure he emitted wasn't something that Number 6 and Number 7 could withstand. Therefore, the two of them didn't dare to make any more movements. In the coffin, Lin Ming entered a new world. Roar! A huge magical beast appeared behind Lin Ming. The pressure this magical beast gave Lin Ming was suffocating. A magical beast that exceeds Tier 10. Lin Ming exclaimed. There was actually a magical beast that exceeded Tier 10 here. This kind of magical beast, even if Gandalf were here, he would probably die with just a slap from the beast. Just from its aura, Lin Ming could only determine that it was a magical beast that exceeded Tier 10. But he could not know exactly how much it exceeded Tier 10. Right now, Lin Ming could not care less about his needs. And he directly unleashed his strongest power. Black flames soared into the sky, and headed straight for the magical beast that exceeded tier 10. However, Lin Ming's black flames only flashed past and could not even hit the magical beast that exceeded tier 10. Lin Ming quickly dodged backwards. Vile spawn, you're courting death. Following Lin Ming's rapid retreat, an angry shout sounded out. An old man appeared in the air, and with just a downwards motion of his palm, he suppressed the magical beast that exceeded tier 10. A mage tiers above the sage tier. Lin Ming's heart was beating rapidly. He did not expect to encounter magical beasts and mages of such tiers in this place. Roar. Following the many roars, Lin Ming looked around. There were actually many magical beasts that exceeded tier 10. Even if Lin Ming controlled the black flame, it would be impossible for him to deal with so many magical beasts that exceeded tier 10. Suddenly, a huge claw pierced through Lin Ming's chest. Lin Ming looked at everything in front of him in a daze. He did not feel any pain. I'm just a consciousness body? Lin Ming understood his current state. The current war was probably what happened in the past. And where Lin Ming appeared was just a projection of the battlefield. Therefore, Lin Ming had a feeling that he was in it and could see everything. However, the mage and magical beasts on the battlefield were unable to see Lin Ming. This time, Lin Ming could be at ease. He quickly moved his body and observed everything on the battlefield. After all, a battle between magical beasts that exceeded tier 10 and mages who had surpassed the sage tier was not something one could just casually see. In other words, other than Lin Ming, there were almost no other people in this era who could see this scene. In a battle at this level, even if he understood just a little bit of the magic used, Lin Ming could still benefit greatly. Therefore, Lin Ming did not even blink his eyes as he watched the battle on the battlefield. Roar. As the many mages and swordsmen attacked together, the tide of magical beasts that exceeded tier 10 retreated. As for the mages, they also suffered great losses. Stop looking. Suddenly, a voice sounded from behind Lin Ming. Lin Ming did not move at all. After all, in Lin Ming's understanding, he was just a consciousness body. In the scene that he was in, no one could see him, let alone communicate with him. I'm talking to you. Lin Ming felt someone pat his shoulder. He shivered and quickly turned around. But there was no one behind Lin Ming. This frightened Lin Ming. Did he encounter a ghost? But at Lin Ming's tier, even if there was a ghost, he could kill it instantly. Here, Lin Ming raised his head and saw a huge figure in the air. There was a light shining behind this figure. Even if Lin Ming was only looking at the projection, he knew that this person's realm had definitely surpassed the level of a sage tier mage. Come. This person waved his hand, and Lin Ming's figure flew to his side uncontrollably. This kind of pulling force wasn't something a sage tier mage like Gandalf could compare to. Lin Ming didn't know what to say in the face of this figure. The only thing Lin Ming could be sure of was that this person in front of him was definitely an existence in the projection. As for how he communicated with him through space and time, Lin Ming didn't know the reason. I've been waiting for so long, and you're finally here. The huge figure looked at Lin Ming and said. As his words fell, his figure changed and became the same size as Lin Ming's figure. Senior, we're not in the same space-time, right? Lin Ming looked at the figure and asked. Indeed, we're not in the same space-time. The space-time I'm in and the space-time you're in now are probably more than 100,000 years apart. The figure nodded. More than 100,000 years. Lin Ming was speechless. The person in front of him gave Lin Ming a feeling of flesh and blood that was so real. Senior, you? Lin Ming didn't know where to start. I know what you want to ask. But now I need to clarify the most important question. The figure took the initiative to speak. The world has collapsed. The path to ascension has been blocked, the magic has depleted, and the body is hard to cultivate. The figure spoke. Is this the current predicament of your world? The figure looked at Lin Ming and spoke. Yes. Lin Ming nodded. The path to ascension was blocked, which meant that after reaching the level of a sage tier mage, one would be unable to continue to strive for a higher magic tier. The depletion of magic meant that the concentration of magic elements was now extremely low. As for body forging, it meant that even the secret swordsman would find it difficult to break through above tier 10. As for the collapse of the world, the meaning was clear. But you're not affected. This is why you're the first person to see me in over 100,000 years. The figure only glanced at Lin Ming, but Lin Ming seemed to have been seen through. Senior, I wonder what happened back then? Lin Ming asked curiously. After all, he really couldn't understand what kind of battle could cause the entire world to collapse, to the point that even in the next 100,000 years, there wasn't a single mage who could surpass the sage tier. Your purpose for this trip is to find an opportunity to break through past the sage tier mage level, right? The figure didn't answer Lin Ming's question, but spoke instead. Yes. Lin Ming nodded. The reason he entered this juncture was precisely to find out how to break through past the sage tier mage level. This world is no longer able to support an existence that surpasses the sage tier mage. The figure shook his head and said, You mean, it's impossible for a mage in this world to break through past the level of a sage tier mage? When Lin Ming heard this, he was extremely disappointed. Just this sentence alone was enough to let him see the end. This kind of feeling was really hard to accept. That's right, the path to ascension has already been blocked. The figure nodded. Unless there's a heaven-defying person who breaks through past the level of a sage tier mage and repairs this fault, only then will the sage tier mages in this world have a chance to break through. The voice spoke again. But, didn't you just say? Lin Ming scratched his head. He suddenly thought of the crux of the problem. Just now, this figure had said that the path of ascension in Lin Ming's world had been blocked, so it was impossible for there to be an existence above the sage tier mage. Now, he said that there had to be a person of such a tier to break through the barrier. Wasn't he contradicting himself? Senior, I want to ask another question. Lin Ming spoke. At that time of the battle, it's impossible that all the existences who surpassed the sage tier mage level died in battle, right? Seeing this figure nod, Lin Ming asked his own question. As long as one broke through that tier, their lifespan would definitely be extended. No, the figure shook his head. Those who surpassed the level of a sage tier mage would definitely have their lifespan extended by a lot. Why didn't they break through this barrier? Lin Ming asked. You're right, those who surpassed the level of a sage tier mage would completely break away from their human constitution. Their lifespan would be extended by at least 10,000 years. And if they continued to break through, they could even gain hundreds of thousands of years of lifespan. At that time, they could be considered to have the same lifespan as heaven and earth. As for why they didn't break through the barrier, it's because this barrier was set up by them. The figure let out a cold snort and said, The Great War, back then, could be said that it was earth-shattering. Heaven and earth were damaged, and the world collapsed. Therefore, the last few surviving existences left this world. When they left this world, they blocked the opportunity to break through past the sage tier mage level. The figure continued to speak, even though his body had already died back then. But because of his strength, he knew a lot of things after that. Were they trying to prevent this kind of situation from happening again in this world? Lin Ming asked curiously. After all, no one wanted to experience such a cruel war a second time. T. Do you know that the Great Tao is ruthless? At that level, they are already ruthless existences. They were only worried about the revenge from the descendants of their enemies in the future. After all, there are too many amazing people in the river of time. Hearing Lin Ming's words, the figure was a little angry. They blocked the opportunity to break through past the level of a sage tier mage. No one can break through past that level. After their lifespans are exhausted, they will directly die. Let alone take revenge. To them, this was a once-and-for-all matter. And just in case, they brainwashed everyone at that time that this war was the holy war between the gods and demons. And I, the guardian of the battle, was given the title of Demon King. Speaking of this issue, this figure was extremely furious. You are? The person in front of him was actually the Demon King that everyone was cursing. Currently, there were rumors among the sage tier mages that the reason why they couldn't break through past the sage tier was that the Demon King had started the holy war, causing the world to collapse. Who would have thought that everything was fake? At that time, in order to protect the entire human race, I fought against the entire beast tide. Among them, the most powerful Teoti was killed by me. The Demon King thought back to that time with heroic bearing. Even Teoti, who was said to be able to devour the world, was killed by him in the depths of the magic forest. However, the existences that luckily survived were the instigators of the conspiracy. It was also to prevent the leak of their conspiracy that they did all these things. Up until now, as Lin Ming and the Demon King communicated, he also understood everything that had happened at that time. So, the so-called heroes and the so-called Demon King were all fake. Do you want to break through past the level of a Sage Tier Mage? The Demon King looked at Lin Ming and asked. Yes. Lin Ming nodded. Although he was only a Tier 6 Mage now, it didn't delay his desire to break through past the level of a Sage Tier Mage. I've been waiting here for more than 100,000 years. Today, I finally have a successor. The Demon King sighed. He was filled with hatred every day. Once he found a successor, he would be able to free his last remaining consciousness. I said just now that you're not affected by this world. Do you remember? The Demon King looked at Lin Ming and said. Yes. Lin Ming nodded. When he had just entered, the Demon King had said this. It doesn't matter what the secret in your body is, because you are the opportunity. The Demon King said. I am the opportunity to break through? Lin Ming frowned. Many Sage Tier Mages had been searching for the opportunity for so many years. Was it him? This? Lin Ming couldn't believe it. The secret in your body will allow you to break through past the level of a Sage Tier Mage. Of course, there's another prerequisite. The Demon King took a deep breath and said. Speaking of this, the Demon King's eyes changed. What's the prerequisite? Lin Ming asked. He didn't expect that the opportunity to break through past the Sage Tier Mage level was the system. And the Demon King seemed to know that there was a system in his body. In front of the Demon King, Lin Ming felt as if he was seen through. The secret in your body existed during our time, however. There was also only one. He was the one who established the Heavenly Court hundreds of thousands of years ago. The Demon King looked at Lin Ming and said. The one who established the Heavenly Court hundreds of thousands of years ago? Lin Ming was shocked when he heard this. He didn't expect the system to have existed before. And what did his system have to do with the founder of the Heavenly Court? This isn't important. The important thing is the prerequisite of your breakthrough. The Demon King sighed. In that era, their peak existences had already disappeared in the river of time, including the existence that established the Heavenly Court. So all of this was meaningless to mention now. Please enlighten me, Senior. Lin Ming nodded, even though he really wanted to know some of the past and the secrets of the system. However, the purpose of this trip and the most important thing right now was the opportunity and prerequisite to break through past the Sage Tier Mage level. You are the opportunity to break through past the Sage Tier Mage level, and I am the prerequisite to do so. The Demon King spoke. You are the prerequisite, but after hearing the Demon King's words, Lin Ming didn't know what to say next. After all, the existence of the system was in his own body, constantly improving himself. This Demon King, it couldn't be that he needed to enter his body as well, right? I don't know if you've heard of this saying. If you want to go to heaven, you have to fall to hell first. The Demon King spoke. I'm not hell, but if you want to break through past the Sage Tier Mage level, you need to practice dark magic. The Demon King continued to speak. Practice dark magic? Lin Ming frowned. He hadn't thought that the prerequisite would be this. Why? Lin Ming really wanted to know the reason. Because the prerequisite for breaking through past the Sage Tier Mage level is to inherit my legacy. If you want to inherit my legacy, you have to cultivate the dark element. The Demon King spoke. Okay. After hearing this, Lin Ming immediately agreed. So decisive? The speed at which Lin Ming agreed stunned the Demon King. I believe in you, Senior. Lin Ming was clear-cut. It was Bai Han in your body that told you, right? The Demon King smiled and directly exposed Lin Ming. Greetings, Master. Bai Han's figure appeared and saluted in the front. The person whom he saluted this time was actually the Demon King. Lin Ming didn't have any reaction because just now, Bai Han, who was in the stupa, had told Lin Ming everything. A new person beats an old person. To think that you still remember me as your master. You should have sold me out completely just now, right? The Demon King couldn't help but sigh when he saw Bai Han appear. I didn't dare. Bai Han hurriedly spoke. The Demon King was actually the first master of the stupa. And in the secret realm, the test that Lin Ming went through was set by the Demon King. It was also at that time that the Demon King approved of Lin Ming. Otherwise, the Demon King wouldn't have passed down everything he had to Lin Ming so quickly. Of course, the faster he did so without any tests, the more suspicious it would be. After all, there were too few people who believed that pennies would fall from the sky. Now that Bai Han had appeared, the distrust and all sorts of thoughts had disappeared. Facing his old master, Bai Han didn't show any disrespect, and facing his current master, Lin Ming, it was impossible for him to have any ill intentions. Bai Han also knew that his old master was only left with the last bit of his consciousness now. All the power of this inheritance was in this opportunity. Bai Han, you have to thank the master that I chose for you. I believe that he will definitely bring you to a higher level. The Demon King chuckled. He had cultivated together with the existence that had established the heavenly court. So he understood that existence. Lin Ming's performance was even more monstrous than that existence. That was why he believed that Lin Ming would rise to a higher level. That was also why he was willing to hand over his inheritance to Lin Ming without even considering it. Thank you, Master. Bai Han bowed respectfully once more. Let's begin. The Demon King laughed and walked towards Lin Ming. Thank you, Senior. Lin Ming closed his eyes. Thousands of worlds, based on my name. Transform into an inheritance, fuse. The Demon King took a deep breath, as thousands of worlds materialized behind him. As his finger touched Lin Ming's forehead, the thousands of worlds instantly broke through and entered Lin Ming's body. This was his inheritance. This process was extremely long. With a wave of the Demon King's hand, the two instantly entered the last level of the stupa. Let me say goodbye to you one last time. From now on, I will disappear from this world forever. Looking at the familiar last level of the stupa, time stood still in the world outside the stupa tower. Only in the last level of the stupa did time still flow. Ding. Detected that the host is accepting the Sage Realm Opportunity Inheritance. The system has increased the host's compatibility and fusion speed of the opportunity. Following the fusion of the inheritance and Lin Ming, the system's voice appeared. After an unknown amount of time, Lin Ming opened his eyes. Lin Ming felt the surging power in his body. The magic power in Lin Ming's body now had an inexhaustible feeling. And Lin Ming had this feeling because his body had really undergone an overturning change. Tier 9 Dark Mage, Tier 7 Fire Mage. The Demon King's voice appeared. In that instant, the dark magic that Lin Ming had never practiced before was directly upgraded to Tier 9. Lin Ming's fire magic was also upgraded, making him a Tier 7 Fire Mage. I'll help you hide the aura of the dark magic. But you have to remember that you'll only have a chance to break through past the Sage Tier Mage level if you break through in the dark magic. Because when those few survivors blocked the opportunity to break through, the dark magic's opportunity was the biggest loophole. The Demon King was in front of Lin Ming, but his figure had already become extremely illusory and unreal. This was because his power was about to be exhausted. This is the dark element cultivation method for the dark magic. Go. The Demon King tapped Lin Ming again, and a lot of information instantly appeared in Lin Ming's mind. I'm tired too. Remember, after you break through this barrier, teach those survivors a good lesson for me. As the Demon King spoke, his figure completely disappeared. Lin Ming stood where he was and bowed 3 times respectfully. If the Demon King had not passed on his legacy to Lin Ming, he would still be alive in this world. However, the Demon King was probably tired of this kind of life. Although the Demon King had not taught Lin Ming anything, and even the time they spent together was so short, however, he could still be considered Lin Ming's teacher. The Demon King was also the previous owner of the stupa in Lin Ming's hands. Now, Lin Ming, who had received the inheritance, had directly reached Tier 9 in dark magic. This could be said to be a leap to the heavens. One had to know that many mages had cultivated their entire lives, but it was impossible for them to reach the level of a Tier 9 mage. However, Lin Ming had reached this level in an instant. Lin Ming now had dual element magic on him. A mage could originally only awaken the magic of one element. However, the Demon King's inheritance was definitely not ordinary. It directly opened up a new magic element in Lin Ming's body. The dark element. With dual element magic, Lin Ming needed more resources to cultivate. The pressure on Lin Ming to level up was also greater. However, this was a small matter to Lin Ming. With the disappearance of the Demon King, Everything in front of Lin Ming slowly became illusory, and eventually disappeared. Cough, cough. Lin Ming woke up in the coffin. This intense feeling of suffocation made Lin Ming could not help but cough. He directly shattered the coffin and panted loudly. With Lin Ming's appearance, number 6 and number 7 felt a great pressure emitted by Lin Ming. Outside the juncture. Tisk tisk. This disciple of yours ran into the coffin. Is he looking for a fortuitous encounter? A voice sounded in Gandalf's ear. I didn't see him gain anything in this short period of time. Instead, it seems like he can't catch his breath. Because the Demon King had stopped time. In the eyes of the sage-tier mages in the outside world, Lin Ming had only lain inside for a while. They had no way of knowing about Lin Ming's entry into the Demon King's scene and their conversation. Boom. As Lin Ming left the Demon King's inheritance, the entire juncture began to shake violently. This juncture exists solely for the inheritance. Now that I've completed the inheritance, this juncture has lost its value. Lin Ming looked at the shaking surroundings and knew the reason. Quickly opened the juncture. This change made the sage-tier mages outside the juncture nervous. After all, the ones inside the juncture were their most favored disciples. However, there were 1 or 2 sage-tier mages who thought that this was a clue. Thus, they didn't want to open the juncture. After all, if the disciples were gone, then so be it. As a sage-tier mage, how could he be in lack of a few disciples? Quickly open up the juncture. Gandalf frowned and shouted again, no matter what the situation was with others. He, Gandalf, only had this one disciple. Moreover, this disciple was freakishly genius. Even if he didn't obtain any clues this time, he would still have many opportunities in the future. However, only by all the mages making a move at the same time could the juncture be opened. As long as one didn't make a move, all the disciples would be trapped and die inside. At this moment, the disciples inside the juncture also panicked. This was because they were inside the collapsing juncture and could feel the crazy feeling of suffocation. Lin Ming looked around and calmly waved his hand. Following Lin Ming's move, a black hole appeared in front of Lin Ming. Come. Lin Ming waved his hand again, and 7 Masters of the Dark appeared around Lin Ming. And the strongest Master of the Dark beside Lin Ming was at tier 9. Leave with me, otherwise, if the juncture collapses, you'll only be left with death. Lin Ming looked at them and said, yes. The 7 Masters of the Dark followed Lin Ming and left the juncture. The juncture was the inheritance, and the inheritance was the juncture. Lin Ming had obtained the inheritance, so before the juncture collapsed, he could control everything in the juncture. As for the disciples of other sage-tier mages, Lin Ming believed they didn't need him. As Lin Ming left the juncture directly, the several sage-tier mages outside were taken aback. They reacted and quickly made their move. Gandalf quickly opened the juncture. It was Gandalf who was anxious just now, but now it was their turn. However, Gandalf didn't waste any time. He directly made a move and opened the juncture together. After opening the juncture, the disciples quickly fled. As for the sage-tier mages, their eyes weren't on their own disciples. They were looking at Lin Ming instead. They didn't know how Lin Ming had left the juncture directly. This kind of power wasn't something any of them could achieve. To open the secret realm, they needed several sage-tier mages to work together. Why are you all looking at me? Lin Ming looked at the surrounding sage-tier mages and said innocently, how did you open up the juncture? What do these dark mages behind you mean? All sorts of questions surrounded Lin Ming. None of your business. Lin Ming snorted and said, Gandalf, this disciple of yours is really impetuous. Let me teach him a lesson for you. They were all sage-tier mages, and their status could be said to be the highest. When had they ever suffered such humiliation? Shut up, you don't have the right to teach my disciple a lesson. Gandalf protected Lin Ming behind him as he spoke coldly. All right, everyone, calm down. This young friend must have gained something. The voice of a sage-tier mage appeared. As this voice appeared, the surroundings quieted down. Little friend, tell me, what did you gain from all of this? The sage-tier mage said with a smile. No comment. Lin Ming said coldly. With Lin Ming's attitude, the surrounding air turned cold. Kid, you've really lived long enough. We have so many sage-tier mages. You think your master alone can protect you? Among the sage-tier mages, there were naturally some who were grumpy. You want me to tell you what I've gained? And that's your attitude? Lin Ming didn't feel any pressure at all. On one hand, Gandalf's intimidation was there. On the other hand, Lin Ming also had enough confidence. Even if Gandalf wasn't here, they wouldn't dare to attack him. In fact, they even had to be respectful to him. Calm down, calm down. Hearing Lin Ming's words, the atmosphere at the scene eased up. Little friend, tell me. With what price will you tell us what you've gained inside? The group of people looked at Lin Ming, as if they were looking at a piece of cake. Lin Ming, if you don't want to say it, no one can force you to do so. Let's leave now. Gandalf spoke up beside Lin Ming. Of course, he wanted to be the only person to know this kind of secret. But he also knew that it would be very difficult to leave now. Because Lin Ming had left the juncture directly just now, he must have gained something. Right now, these sage-tier mages were too fervent about the thoughts of breaking through. Several sage-tier mages surrounded Lin Ming and him. Gandalf was also a little nervous now. After all, he could only fight one-on-one. No matter how monstrous Lin Ming was, it is impossible for him to deal with so many sage-tier mages. Master, I did indeed gain something from this juncture. And I gained a lot. Lin Ming looked around and said, and it's not like I can't share it with the seniors. Lin Ming continued, and his two sentences made the breathing of the sage-tier mages on the scene quicken. Facing Lin Ming, who had definitely gained something, their attitudes changed quickly after they sobered up. Little friend, at what price? Will you share with us the clues you gained from this juncture? A sage-tier mage asked. I want him to apologize to me. Also, each of you will have to give me 2 spiritual weapons of the same tier, as the Staff of Blazing Power. Of course, if they are of a higher tier, I won't refuse. Lin Ming said. Everyone present was stunned. They hadn't expected Lin Ming to ask for so much at this moment. What was the tier of the Staff of Blazing Power? Gandalf had treated Lin Ming as his one and only son, which was why he had endured the pain to give it to Lin Ming. And now, Lin Ming had actually asked them to take out spiritual weapons of this tier and give them to him. And it was 2 of them. Ignorant child, how dare you? The extremely irascible sage-tier mage spoke once more. Little friend, it's fine to let him apologize. But we really can't take out these spiritual weapons. You know that spiritual weapons of this tier? The sage-tier mage, who had always been the peacemaker, sighed and spoke. The atmosphere at the scene became even more solemn. Then there's nothing more to discuss. Master, let's go. Lin Ming spread out his palms, so the several sage-tier mages were here because they wanted to have free benefits. Lin Ming had worked so hard for so long in the juncture, and had almost suffocated to death in the coffin. It was not to let these sage-tier mages gain benefits from him for nothing. Humph, we do have spiritual weapons of this tier, but what right do you have to take the spiritual weapons into our hands? Even if it's the lowest tier, you don't deserve it. A voice appeared. After all, they were sage-tier mages. They could indeed satisfy the condition of 2 spiritual weapons of this tier. Seniors, so the lot of you want to enjoy the benefits for free. Facing so many sage-tier mages, Lin Ming didn't show any emotion. Little friend, don't say such it in such an unpleasant way. However, you can tell us about the clues you obtained. We will measure according to the clues, and give you a spiritual weapon of the same tier. What do you think? The peacemaker from earlier spoke again. His suggestion could be considered fair. All right, Lin Ming nodded. He had been waiting for this sentence. Don't say it yet. Let them swear an oath together. Gandalf was a little unwilling at this moment. After all, he really wanted to know about this matter himself. After all, this was an opportunity to break through. Past the sage-tier mage level, even the most magnanimous person wouldn't want to share it with others. But before this, they had already sworn that as long as they gained something, no matter whose disciple it was, they would have to reveal the clues gained. Otherwise, they would go berserk at their tier. If they didn't fulfill their oath, they would definitely suffer the same backlash. This was also the reason why Gandalf didn't lead Lin Ming away immediately. Originally, Gandalf did not care about it much each time. He thought that he would follow the crowd and be one who gained benefits for free, too. He did not expect that the first person to get a clue would actually be his own disciple. Master, there's no need. Lin Ming waved his hand. Lin Ming did not care if they swore an oath or not. Just now, all of you said that I was not worthy of 2 spiritual weapons. Now, let me show you whether I am worthy of such. Lin Ming opened his mouth, and the dark magic on his body exploded. You, Dark Mage, Gandalf, you actually accepted a Dark Mage as your disciple. As Lin Ming's aura exploded, the atmosphere at the scene was somewhat out of control. The moment Lin Ming left the juncture, he had placed the 7 Masters of the Dark into the stupa. If they were by Lin Ming's side, they would know why they suddenly felt such pressure from Lin Ming. Lin Ming has always been a fire mage, and we've done experiments before. No matter what element a mage is, as long as they have passed tier 7, they won't be able to enter the juncture. Gandalf stood at the side. Although he was extremely shocked, his thoughts and words were extremely fast. Even if it's the darkness element, the rule still stands. Look, Lin Ming's current dark magic level is at tier 9. Gandalf's words caused everyone present to calm down. Dual element, this. Suddenly, another Sage tier mage realized that Lin Ming was a dual element mage. Even if they were all Sage tier mages, they could only control one element. This was common knowledge. Seniors, I've found the breakthrough opportunity that you've been looking for. Lin Ming looked at the surrounding Sage tier mages and said, "What?" After hearing Lin Ming's words, the voices of the Sage tier mages started to tremble. "What is the opportunity? Tell us quickly." The Sage tier mages came so close, they were about to touch Lin Ming's face. Their desire for this opportunity was too strong. It was so strong to the point that they had neglected the fact that Lin Ming had become a dark mage. "I am the opportunity." Lin Ming opened his mouth. "You are the opportunity?" After Lin Ming opened his mouth, everyone was stunned. "I will tell you about what happened in the secret realm." Lin Ming naturally knew that it was hard for them to accept it. So he told them about his conversation with the Demon King. Of course, Lin Ming didn't reveal anything about the system. After Lin Ming finished his story, the way everyone looked at Lin Ming changed. So the path of ascension has collapsed? So that's why we have no hope of ascending. They finally knew the reason. Lin Ming's explanation also let them know many secrets that they didn't know before. "Little friend, this is my natal spiritual weapon. Today, I'll give it to you. I hope you don't mind." The Peacemaker just now took out 2 spiritual weapons of the same tier as the Staff of Blazing Power and handed them to Lin Ming. Just now, he had said that they couldn't take out the spiritual weapons of this tier. Now, not only did he take out 2 spiritual weapons, but he was even worried that Lin Ming would dislike them. The other Sage tier mages didn't curse him for his enthusiasm. They all took out 2 spiritual weapons of the same tier as the Staff of Blazing Power and handed them to Lin Ming. "I hope you won't dislike them." Several Sage tier mages spoke at the same time. They didn't take them out just now because they felt that Lin Ming's clues weren't worthy of such a price. But now, they were actually glad that Lin Ming only wanted 2 spiritual weapons, because even if Lin Ming wanted 3 spiritual weapons, they would have satisfied his condition, even if they had to surrender their last resources. This was the value of Lin Ming. Not only was he, Lin Ming, worthy of 2 spiritual weapons equivalent to the Staff of Blazing Power. Even if it was 10 spiritual weapons of such a tier, he was more than worthy, because he, Lin Ming, was the opportunity for them to break through. "Little friend, we are willing to protect you together." A few of them spoke at the same time again. "No need, I only need resources. As long as the news today is not leaked, no one will make a move against me." Lin Ming shook his head and said, Now, Lin Ming had dual elements, and his dark magic had reached tier 9. One had to know that this dark magic was the Demon King's inheritance. Even if it was, he battled against someone of a higher level. It would not be a problem. As long as no one else knew about what happened today, no high-tier mage would target him. No matter what kind of resources you need, we will satisfy them. No one objected to Lin Ming's words, because what Lin Ming said was the truth. And Lin Ming's words also reminded them. A few of them, being sage-tier mages, would definitely not let the cat out of the bag. But the disciples they brought were a different story. Thus, they had to seal the mouths of these disciples immediately. Of course, these were their most beloved disciples. It was unrealistic to say that they would kill them all. "Young friend, do you need any resources now?" An old man asked. His lifespan was running out. Therefore, he placed all his hopes on Lin Ming. Now, as long as Lin Ming needed something, no matter what it was, he would definitely take it out. "I don't need them for now." Lin Ming waved his hand. He had just obtained so many spiritual treasures, so he had better stop before going too far. Besides, any one of these spirit treasures was priceless. Some empires only had 1 or 2 of them. I need to meditate and cultivate for a while, Lin Ming said. Okay. The few sage tier mages understood what Lin Ming meant. He meant that if there was nothing urgent, there was no need to disturb him. Gandalf, isn't it better to let our little friend cultivate in the Empire's spirit pool? A voice appeared. Lin Ming naturally knew about the Empire's spirit pool, as it was the place where he had cultivated last time. Only the champion of the competition would have the honor of cultivating in the spirit pool. On top of that, they could only cultivate it for an extremely short period of time. This time, they wanted Lin Ming to keep cultivating in the spirit pool. It could be said that up until now, no one had enjoyed such treatment. This is naturally the best. Upon hearing this matter, Gandalf's eyes lit up, and he said, "No need." Lin Ming waved his hand again, indicating that he refused. Seeing that Lin Ming actually refused, everyone was stunned for a moment. After all, that was a place that all mages dreamed of. I have my own cultivation methods, and I also have my own path. Seniors, don't worry too much. If I have any needs, I will immediately ask for them, Lin Ming said. Nonsense. The level of the spirit pool in his stupa was much higher than the spirit pool in the Empire. Lin Ming didn't need this favor. Okay. The sage tier mages nodded. Perhaps it was only people like Lin Ming who had their own path that could become their opportunity. Master, let's go. Lin Ming looked at Gandalf and said, "Okay." Gandalf nodded and led Lin Ming, quickly disappearing on the spot. The remaining sage tier mages began to seal the mouths of their disciples. Our harvest this time isn't small. Gandalf's face was smiling like a flower. Master, pick 2 of these spiritual weapons. I can't use all of them. Lin Ming placed the spiritual treasures he had obtained on the ground. So many priceless spiritual treasures were casually piled into a pile. I don't need them either. You can keep them. They all put in a lot of thought. Look. The spiritual treasures they gave to you are mostly not repetitive in function. Gandalf shook his head, indicating that he didn't need them. The normal procedure was for a teacher to give his disciple spiritual treasures. As a sage tier mage, he was more concerned about his reputation. Hearing Gandalf's words, Lin Ming's gaze also landed on these spiritual treasures. After all, there were a lot of spiritual treasures. Lin Ming had just put them into his ring directly, and didn't look at them carefully. There's really no one else besides you who can make those old fellows pay such expenses. I'm afraid even their most beloved disciple can't get a spiritual weapon of this tier. Gandalf smiled as he said, "It was very difficult for us to make those old fellows pay such expenses. However, Lin Ming had the opportunity, so they couldn't care less about feeling heartache from the expenses. These 2 are the ones that increase magic attack. These 2 are traveling type spiritual weapons. These 3 are defensive type spiritual weapons." Lin Ming and Gandalf went through the items on the ground. These were all extremely good items. Lin Ming casually activated one of the traveling type spiritual treasures, and its radiance instantly blotted out the sky. On this spiritual treasure, its defense and attack were all extremely perfect. The sage tier mage who took out the traveling type spiritual treasures was the one who paid the most expenses. After all, traveling type spiritual treasures themselves were the most precious and the hardest to forge. Activate all of these defensive type spiritual treasures. Even if a sage tier mage were to attack you, these spiritual treasures can't be destroyed by them. In a short period of time, Gandalf spoke. Any of the defensive type spiritual treasures on the ground now far surpass the level of the Vajrapatra. Even if a sage tier mage were to attack, it would be very difficult for him to break through these spiritual treasures in a short period of time. Alright, Lin Ming nodded. Defensive type spiritual treasures of this tier could absorb spiritual energy from their surroundings to protect their owners. Thus, Lin Ming didn't even need to use his own magic power to support them after he activated them. Of course, even if he needed magic power to support them, with the existence of the spirit pool in the stupa, Lin Ming wouldn't have any pressure at all. Lin Ming injected magic power into the defensive type spiritual treasures, and the 3 spiritual treasures quickly attached themselves to Lin Ming's body. Spiritual treasures of this tier were extremely light, and only when their owner was in real danger would they display their abnormal defensive power. Now, even if 3 defensive-type spiritual treasures were activated at the same time to protect Lin Ming did not feel any weight on his body. On top of that, defensive-type spiritual treasures of this tier had many other wonderful uses. However, Lin Ming had too many spiritual treasures, and his focus wasn't on this. He only asked for these spiritual treasures to provide defense. Master, I need to familiarize myself with dark magic. Lin Ming stood up and said, okay. Gandalf nodded and didn't bother Lin Ming anymore. After Gandalf left, Lin Ming closed his eyes and began to observe the surging dark magic power in his body. Lin Ming opened his eyes and entered the stupa. There were still 7 Masters of the Dark in the stupa. Since Lin Ming brought them out of the juncture, he certainly had his own ideas, especially towards the boss of the Masters of the Dark, who had the power of a Tier 9 Dark Mage. Even a Sage Tier Mage by Lin Ming's side had to watch his expression. However, there was one point he couldn't ignore. A Tier 9 Mage was an extremely powerful existence. Greetings, Master. Just as Lin Ming arrived, the few Masters of the Dark all knelt down. This was because they could sense the aura of the Demon King from Lin Ming. This aura suppressed them to the bone. No need. Lin Ming waved his hand. Lin Ming was against such etiquette. From now on, you are responsible for staying by my side. If I need anything, you should immediately execute it. Lin Ming looked at them and said, yes. Lin Ming was the reason they could escape from the juncture. This much was their duty. Of course, I won't ask you to keep staying by my side. After I break through to the level of a Sage Tier Mage, you'll be free. Lin Ming said, thank you, Master. A few of them bowed together again. Lin Ming brought them from the stupa into the real world. Wow, this feeling is great. A few of them looked at the sun outside and couldn't help but be intoxicated. This was the taste of freedom. Being in the juncture for so long, it was no different than being in the abyss. Moreover, who said that a dark mage had to stay in the abyss? They also liked the sun and preferred freedom. I thought that even if I die, I would have to die in that place. Number 1 could not help but speak. We were all trial takers who entered previously. We were swallowed by the dark magic and became dark mages. Now, we can finally leave the abyss. Number 2 also spoke. His magic level was at Tier 8. Their identities were already known to Lin Ming when he obtained the inheritance. From today onwards, if I have any instructions, you must carry them out immediately. Of course, I will not let you do anything that is beyond your capabilities. Lin Ming spoke. Yes, the 8 Masters of the Dark calmed their emotions and immediately agreed. The few of you, just build a few more houses around my house and settle down first. Lin Ming pointed at the surroundings and said. The few Masters of the Dark heard Lin Ming's orders and quickly carried them out. Lin Ming looked at the few Masters of the Dark, who were starting to get busy, and closed his eyes again. Ding, you have received the inheritance, Demon King's memory. Do you want to open it? As Lin Ming closed his eyes, the system's voice sounded. Open. Lin Ming nodded and opened the cultivation methods the Demon King gave him at the end. Ding. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the dark magic skill, Shadow Kill. Ding. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the dark magic skill, Shadow Fall. Ding. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the dark magic skill, Dark Puppet. Ding. Ellipsis quote. As Lin Ming opened the Demon King's memory, a series of system sounds appeared. Not only did Lin Ming instantly learn the best and fastest way to cultivate dark magic, but he also obtained many dark magic skills. Lin Ming now discovered that dark magic involved a wider range. It was stronger and more difficult to parry, since it was filled with unpredictable changes. Of course, Lin Ming's fire magic was definitely more powerful than dark magic in terms of the power to instantaneously cause explosive damage. Ding. Host has obtained dark magic skill, Shadow Kill. Do you wish to learn it? Ding. Host has obtained dark magic skill, Darkness Falls. Do you wish to learn it? Ding. Host has obtained. Another series of system notifications appeared. Of course, Lin Ming clicked on yes to all the notifications, and at the same time, he pushed his proficiency to the maximum level. They're all at Tier 10 proficiency. Lin Ming looked at the proficiency level and could not help but exclaim in surprise. Lin Ming knew that the higher the proficiency, the stronger the inner strength, and the stronger the aftershock. These proficiency levels were all at level 10, so one could clearly see how strong the strength would be. When they were released, Lin Ming even felt that his state and power had entered a new level. In the juncture, although Lin Ming had obtained the Demon King's inheritance, his level of fire magic had risen to that of a tier 7 mage, and he had opened up a new magic element, a dark element, and jumped to being a tier 9 dark mage. But before this, although Lin Ming had obtained the power of darkness, he had not been able to control this power. Even if it was just a simple dark spell, Lin Ming would not be able to cast it. However, things were different now. Lin Ming had already completely mastered this power of darkness. On top of that, he now had a proficiency level of up to tier 10. For any random magic skill, it could be said that anyone below the sage tier mage level was no match for the current Lin Ming. Lin Ming opened his eyes, and the aura around him also changed. Originally, the dark magic in his body hadn't leaked out because the Demon King had helped Lin Ming to wipe out this aura in his final moments. But now, Lin Ming had complete mastery over the dark magic, and he could control it freely. Lin Ming entered the stupa and stepped into the spirit pool. How can the density of the spirit pool become so strong? After entering the spirit pool, Lin Ming couldn't help but ask. The magic elements in the original spirit pool sometimes appear in the form of crystals. That was only when the magic elements were extremely dense. But now, the extremely dense crystals almost covered the entire spirit pool. Bai Han. As Lin Ming spoke, Bai Han's figure appeared behind Lin Ming. Master. Bai Han waited for Lin Ming's orders. Do you know the reason? Lin Ming asked. Yes. Before the old master disappeared, he used his remaining strength to repair the first crack. Bai Han nodded. Senior Demon King really did devote all his energy to this. Lin Ming couldn't help but speak. The Demon King didn't hold back at all towards him. The second crack can only be repaired after Master breaks through to that tier. Bai Han spoke again. I understand. Lin Ming nodded. The density of the spirit pool was now enough for Lin Ming to cultivate. Furthermore, Lin Ming was certain that even if all the empires worked together, they would not be able to achieve such a spirit pool. Lin Ming closed his eyes and crazily absorbed the spirit energy within. Because Lin Ming was now a dual-element mage, the absorption speed could be said to be terrifying. This was because the spirit pool contained the purest and most primitive magic elements. Even if it was dark magic, its essence was the same. Because of the terrifying absorption speed, vortexes appeared around Lin Ming's body. Transform. Lin Ming had once again transformed the dark magic in his body into a crystal form. Because of the Demon King's inheritance, Lin Ming's dark magic level had reached tier 9, but Lin Ming's dark magic was at the liquid state after tier 8. Now, Lin Ming needed to transform the intensity of fire magic and dark magic once again. Lin Ming now controlled many magic skills. Moreover, Lin Ming had dual elements. This required the support of a lot of magic elements. Thus, Lin Ming needed to compress the magic elements in his body again. The more concentrated the compression, the more magic is stored in Lin Ming's body. Fortunately, the new element Lin Ming had opened was the dark magic, which did not conflict with Lin Ming's original fire magic. Lin Ming's tier 7 fire magic storage did not conflict with his tier 9 dark magic storage either. In addition to Lin Ming's current compression of magic elements, the magic in Lin Ming's body could be said to have reached a terrifying level. As time passed, Lin Ming opened his eyes. The magic power in his body was surging. Lin Ming stood up and appeared in the lightning pool. Now, Lin Ming wanted to test if his dark magic is countered by lightning. Boom! Lin Ming entered the lightning pool, and his body was struck by lightning. Lin Ming released his dark aura and welcomed the tempering of lightning. As the lightning descended, the dark magic in Lin Ming's body was scattered. The scattered dark magic was not subdued by the lightning, but instead turned into impurities and stronger dark magic. The lightning did not restrain Lin Ming's dark magic. Instead, it could polish Lin Ming's dark magic. Lin Ming also remembered at this moment that the previous owner of the stupa was the Demon King. As a dark mage, how could the things that the Demon King possessed be things that restrained him? Lin Ming stayed in the lightning pool, polishing the purity of his magic and the strength of his body. This time, Lin Ming stayed in the lightning pool for 3 whole days and nights. Lin Ming's body was about to go limp. After all, the numbing effect of the lightning and the polishing effect of the lightning for 3 days and 3 nights immediately pushed Lin Ming's body to its limit. However, Lin Ming's body became even more crystal clear. This was because the impurities in Lin Ming's body were becoming less and less. Lin Ming left the stupa and gulped down food to recover his strength. At this moment, the 8 Masters of the Dark had already finished building their houses and were waiting for Lin Ming's instructions around Lin Ming. The few of you, attack me together. Lin Ming looked at the 8 Masters of the Dark and said, Master, this. The 8 of them looked at each other and didn't attack immediately. Don't worry, I'll only use fire element power to fight you. Lin Ming said, his fire magic was only at tier 7. Just do your best, don't worry about the consequences. Lin Ming wanted them to be his sparring partners. The 8 of them looked at each other and attacked at the same time. Of course, they only dared to probe first. After all, if anything happened to Lin Ming, they would probably suffer as well. However, they had underestimated Lin Ming. The moment Lin Ming attacked, he forced them all to retreat. Other than number 6 and number 7, the rest had never seen Lin Ming making a move. Therefore, in the beginning, they felt that Lin Ming, who only had tier 7 fire element power, wouldn't be too strong. However, how could Lin Ming, who could receive the inheritance, be so simple? Fiery Phoenix spell. Now, when Lin Ming cast spells, not only did he consume less energy, but the power of the spells he cast was also much greater. This was also a benefit from Lin Ming's compression of the magic elements in his body. Dazzling Dragon spell. Lin Ming cast several fire spells to fight against the 8 Masters of the Dark. At this time, the 8 Masters of the Dark no longer dared to take any chances and attacked with all their strength. Number 1, number 2, and number 3 still had it slightly better, since they at least still had their own strength. But the few Masters of the Dark after them were not having it so easy, especially the few Masters of the Dark after number 5. They were beaten so badly that they could not even raise their heads. Even number 1 and number 2, who could deal with Lin Ming's fire magic now, were extremely shocked. They did not understand why Lin Ming, who only had the power of tier 7 fire magic, could attack so fiercely. Moreover, Lin Ming was currently casting many spells at the same time, facing 8 Masters of the Dark. However, it seemed like he did not feel any pressure at all. Right now, not only could Lin Ming's fire magic be cast instantaneously, but it could also be superimposed in an extremely short period of time. When their attacks were about to reach Lin Ming, Lin Ming would quickly dodge them at extremely tricky angles. When Lin Ming first obtained the Air Blast spell, he enjoyed the pleasure of flying in the air, brought by the Air Blast spell. But the magic produced by Gandalf was not so simple. Essentially, the Air Blast spell was a displacement magic after all. In battle, whether it was attacking the opponent or dodging the opponent's attack, it had an extremely good effect. Lin Ming's figure became faster and faster. In the end, only the number 1, number 2, and number 3 could continue to fight. At this time, Lin Ming also stopped fighting, because now, even the number 1, who was a tier 9 mage, had exhausted his magic. Now, the few Masters of the Dark finally understood the extent of Lin Ming's monstrosity. Lin Ming's tier 7 was already so monstrous. If Lin Ming used tier 9 dark magic, wouldn't they only be left with the ending of being instantly killed? Lin Ming. As the battle ended, Gandalf's voice appeared behind Lin Ming. Master, Lin Ming spoke, your dark magic has already reached tier 9. If you want to break through, you will have to do it through the path of dark magic. Now, you should be encountering a bottleneck, Gandalf said. Lin Ming leveled up too quickly, even if he didn't have a bottleneck. Gandalf wanted Lin Ming to settle down, go out for a walk. After all, the state of mind is what a high-tier mage needs to cultivate the most. Gandalf said, yes, I understand. Lin Ming nodded. If he always stayed in the same place, it was indeed easy to encounter a bottleneck. For Lin Ming, the bottlenecks in cultivation were no big deal. But Lin Ming didn't just need breakthroughs in magic. Lin Ming wasn't alive only for magic. Take this token. You can enter any empire at will. Gandalf handed a token to Lin Ming. This was the token that represented his identity. As a sage tier mage, every empire had to give him face. Since this is your training, I won't accompany you. However, if you are in any danger, crush the token and I will appear immediately. The defensive spiritual treasures you have will be enough to protect you until I arrive. Gandalf spoke. He decided to let Lin Ming train alone. Although Lin Ming's safety was the most important issue, Gandalf didn't have too much to worry about. First of all, Lin Ming himself was extremely powerful. Only a sage tier mage would be able to harm Lin Ming. At this moment, the defensive spiritual treasure on Lin Ming's body showed its value. Alright, I understand. Lin Ming nodded. Rest well today, set off tomorrow. After saying this, Gandalf turned and left. Lin Ming would be leaving tomorrow. Other than feeling worried, he also felt extremely reluctant to part with him. However, he also had his own plans. The next day, Lin Ming stood outside Gandalf's door. Master, your disciple is going to gain some experience. You don't have to worry about me. After saying this, Lin Ming bowed. Next to Lin Ming, he only brought with him number 1 and number 2 of the 8 Masters of the Dark he brought back. He also changed their clothes, because there were some things that were inconvenient for Lin Ming to do. With number 1 and number 2's realms, they were just right to accompany him. On the one hand, their cultivation level was enough. On the other hand, if it wasn't convenient for Lin Ming to do something, they could do it. Alright, Gandalf responded in the room. Although Lin Ming was a bit reluctant, he didn't make any other gestures. Rise. Lin Ming held the spiritual sail in his hand and injected spiritual energy into it. The spiritual sail enlarged and floated in the air. Now, Lin Ming actually had 2 other traveling-type spiritual treasures in his hand. On top of that, the level of the 2 spiritual treasures was much higher than the spiritual sail. The difference between them was like the difference between heaven and earth. However, since Lin Ming was training, it wouldn't be good for him to make a show of it. The spiritual sail suited his needs for traveling. After all, Lin Ming was a tier 7 fire mage. It was very normal for him to have a traveling-type spiritual treasure at the level of the spiritual sail. Whoosh! Lin Ming injected his spiritual energy, and the spiritual sail flew out into the sky. Lin Ming took out the map that Gandalf had prepared for him last night and planned his destination first. On the map, the characteristics of each empire, their strengths and weaknesses, and all the details were clearly marked. Let's go to the Jiama Empire. Lin Ming looked at the map and decided on the destination. Lin Ming did not intend to return to the empire where he originally came. On one hand, the water there was just so deep. On the other hand, if he had too many concerns, it would only make Lin Ming's training less smooth. Whoosh! As Lin Ming decided on the destination, the speed of the spiritual sail increased once again. After a solid few days, Lin Ming finally arrived at the Jiama Empire. This was also because the border of the Jiama Empire was the closest to the location where Lin Ming set off. With Lin Ming's control, the spiritual sail landed on the ground. Stop, who is it? The location where Lin Ming landed was right outside the city gate. Unless one had the privilege to enter and exit at will, it was impossible to do so directly. Lin Ming didn't say anything else, and directly took out the token that Gandalf gave him. A lousy token, and you think it's an imperial edict? We don't acknowledge it here. As Lin Ming took out the token, one of the soldiers guarding the door said mockingly. It wasn't that his eyes weren't functioning, but it was because he was indeed short on knowledge. In his opinion, this kind of token didn't represent any privileges. Essentially, his rank was too low. He had never had the chance to see this kind of Sage tier mage's token. In addition, even though he was merely a city guard, people who came and went had to be polite to him. Lin Ming didn't say anything, which made him extremely unhappy. Shut up, you idiot, don't drag me down if you want to die. Suddenly, a cold shout sounded. As the voice sounded, a leader of the city guards appeared and gave the guard a hard slap. Welcome, most honorable guest of our Jiama Empire. Please come in. This leader naturally had some knowledge. He hadn't noticed it just now, but when he saw the token clearly, he broke out in cold sweat. Based on the words of the gatekeeper just now, even if Lin Ming directly killed him, the Jiama Empire could only apologize. No empire would want to offend a sage tier mage. Lin Ming nodded, not caring about anything. He didn't even bother to look at the guard. Sir. Just as Lin Ming was about to enter, the leader's voice sounded behind him again. What's wrong? Lin Ming turned around and frowned. Sir, please don't give it too much thought. We are honored that you came to our Jiama Empire. Sir, please let me lead the way for you. The leader ran to the front of Lin Ming and led the way for him. Sir, this is our VIP reception area. Please take a rest first. I will call a few people over to serve you. The leader brought Lin Ming to a palace and spoke politely. Bring some food. There's no need to call anyone to serve us. Lin Ming spoke. He led the number 1 and number 2 into the palace. For the past 3 days, Lin Ming had been on the move. Whether it was magic or physical exertion, they were both very large. Thus, right now, Lin Ming really needed to rest. As for the privileges that this token brought, Lin Ming just had to enjoy them. No matter how brave one was, they wouldn't dare to harbor any ill intentions towards him. Who was holding a Sage Tier Mage token? Soon, there was a knock on the door. Come in. As Lin Ming spoke, a large amount of food was brought into the room. Soon, the table was filled. Lin Ming sat on the chair and began to replenish his strength. Come in. Number 1 and Number 2 had been waiting outside the door, waiting for Lin Ming's orders. After Lin Ming spoke, the two of them entered the room. Let's eat together. There was no way Lin Ming could finish so much food. And wine alone. We wouldn't dare. In Lin Ming's mind, there was no such thing as the distinction of ranks. But everyone in this world, even children, has been instilled with the idea of the difference in status. Lin Ming was their master, so the two of them had no right to eat together with Lin Ming. Master, Number 1 only stood at the side of the table and didn't dare to sit down. All right, you two, dawdling so much, Lin Ming said somewhat impatiently, seeing that the two of them still had no intention of sitting down. Lin Ming was too lazy to speak again. In a short while, Lin Ming ended his battle with the food. Now you can start, right? Lin Ming glanced at the two of them. The two of them nodded and began to gobble down the food. The two of them had already been drooling just now. But because of the deep-rooted hierarchy concept in their brains, they did not dare to move. And now, they did not feel any psychological pressure to eat Lin Ming's leftovers. They had been in the juncture for a long time, where there was no daylight. The food inside was difficult to swallow. Otherwise, they would not have stooped to the level of eating mages. Those were so disgusting. Lin Ming looked at the two of them. Other than being amused, he also felt that the hierarchy concept of this world was laughable. Dong dong dong. Before Number 1 and Number 2 had eaten their fill, there was a knock on the door again. Please come in. Lin Ming frowned and said, I didn't know that a distinguished guest had arrived. Please forgive me for not welcoming you. A burly man appeared at the door with a smile on his face. The more the leader of the city guards thought about it, the more he felt that he should report this to the city lord. His rank was too low. He only knew that a Sage Tier Mage had a noble status, but he didn't think that a Sage Tier Mage's noble status would be so high. After hearing the report from the leader, the city lord hurriedly knocked on Lin Ming's door. The more one knew, the more one would understand the status of a Sage Tier Mage. Every Sage Tier Mage only had one identity token. No matter who held this token, they would enjoy the same rights as a Sage Tier Mage. This was because those who could hold this token represented the Sage Tier Mage it originally belonged to. Even if the emperor of this empire came, he would have to be respectful to the current Lin Ming. This was the Sage Tier Mage. Please forgive me for not being a good host. The city lord put up a smiling face, in order to please him while saying, You don't have to be so courteous. Lin Ming replied. He was now seriously regretting using this token. Originally, he had intended to get rid of any troubles and make things easier. But now, it seemed that the Sage Tier Mage's token was too popular. In such a short period of time, even the city lord had come to visit. If he continued to stay here, let alone training, it would be impossible for him to achieve the simplest peace. Sir City Lord, Lin Ming opened his mouth. Yes, if you have anything you need, please instruct me. As for the form of address, you can just call me Old Lu. When the city lord heard Lin Ming's way of addressing him, he didn't know how he had offended Lin Ming. So he opened his mouth nervously. I like peace and quiet. Do you understand what I mean? Lin Ming looked at the city lord and said impatiently. Yes, I understand. I will take my leave now. After hearing Lin Ming's words, the city lord understood what Lin Ming meant, and quickly left with his followers. He also warned everyone in the city not to go near the palace. At night, Lin Ming went to the spirit pool, and entered a meditative state. As time passed, the sky brightened. Lin Ming opened his eyes. He had already reached his optimal state. Let's go, Lin Ming said as he looked at Number 1 and Number 2, who had not slept the entire night and were guarding him. Yes, the two of them followed Lin Ming, and boarded the spiritual sail. If we are in the wilderness, the two of you can take turns to stand guard. If we are in the city, there's no need to be so careful, Lin Ming said to the two of them. The two of them standing guard at the same time made them feel dispirited instead. If there was anything that he needed them to do, things like slow reactions would definitely happen. Master, we will take turns to stand guard in the future. Number 1 said, no matter whether in the city or in the wilderness. They had to fulfill this responsibility. Do as you like. Lin Ming waved his hand and said, yes. The two of them nodded. As the spiritual sail moved forward, Lin Ming, number 1 and number 2, arrived at the empire's capital. Lin Ming still landed outside the city gates. After all, this was the capital, so the control exerted on entering and exiting was definitely stricter. Routine inspection. When Lin Ming reached the city gates, a voice appeared, but this time, the voice sounded much more polite. Of course, this was also because it was the capital of the empire. It was not easy to figure out the identity of the people who came and went. They did not want to lose their lives because of a single sentence from themselves. Identity. The soldiers at the city gate asked. Mage. Lin Ming answered. This time, Lin Ming did not use the token. This was the capital. If he used the token, it would cause even more of a ruckus. At that time, he would not be able to have peace and quiet even if he wanted to. Lin Ming left the original city because he knew that if he did not leave, he would definitely not have peace and quiet in the following days. Lin Ming did not want to live that kind of life. Greetings, Honorable Mage, may I know your tier? As Lin Ming did not care about his appearance. He only felt that something like a magic robe and such was troublesome and would get in the way. As for the staff of blazing power that Gandalf gave him, Lin Ming would not take it out unless he was facing a tough opponent. Therefore, the city gate soldiers could not tell that Lin Ming was a mage at first glance. Now that Lin Ming opened his mouth, the tone of the city gate soldiers changed. Tier 7 Fire Mage. Lin Ming spoke. Honorable Tier 7 Mage, this is your first time in our Yanmen city, right? This soldier had originally thought that, judging by Lin Ming's attire, he would only be around a Tier 3 Mage. He had not expected that Lin Ming, who looked so young, was actually a Tier 7 Mage of extremely noble status. He knew that this was Lin Ming's first time here, because he had memorized all the important people here. And a Tier 7 Mage would have definitely been the most famous among the important people. That's right, Lin Ming nodded. This was indeed his first time coming to Yanmen City. Honorable Mage, this token represents your honorable status. With this token, whether it's the auction house, spiritual treasure shop, spiritual herb shop, and so on, you can directly enter the highest level. This soldier was quite perceptive. He quickly handed over a token with both hands. As for number 1 and number 2, who were behind Lin Ming, he did not question them. A Tier 7 Mage with 2 followers, wasn't that normal? Okay, Lin Ming nodded and took the token that belonged to him. However, he secretly ridiculed in his heart. It was a token again. He needed a token for everything. This also made him understand why the hierarchy concept was so ingrained in the hearts of everyone in this world. Many things had been subtly influencing them. For example, this token, please enter. If you need anything, you just need to bring the token and go to the Mage's Palace in Yanmen City. Someone will help you solve it. The city gate soldier made an inviting gesture. Sorry for the trouble. Lin Ming nodded and entered the city. Yanmen City, as the capital of the empire, was indeed very lively. The crowds came and went, and all kinds of shouting and selling were heard. Lin Ming threw the token into his ring and strolled on the street. Lin Ming was used to cultivating with Gandalf in an uninhabited places. He was also used to entering and leaving the magic forest to cultivate himself. Now, in this city full of bustling people, he also felt extremely comfortable. Number 1 and number 2 felt the smoke and fire here and were not sleepy at all. Looking at the delicacies around them, they drooled. Looking at the gorgeous clothes, they could not help but want to touch them. The strange toys also made these 2 high-tier mages itch for a try. Huh? Lin Ming looked at the crowd. When they saw the 3 of them, they automatically avoided them. This made the 3 of them seem out of place on the street. Lin Ming frowned. Could it be that they could sense the dark magic aura on number 1 and number 2? However, if the dark magic aura had leaked, these people wouldn't have behaved like this. Wouldn't they have run away in all directions? The 3 of you, are you buying or not? If you're not buying, don't block the way in front of my shop. While Lin Ming was still thinking, a cold shout appeared. But looking at the 3 of you, you can't afford to buy anything in my shop. The voice continued. After hearing the shop owner's voice, Lin Ming began to contemplate his clothing. At this moment, Lin Ming understood why everyone on the street was avoiding them. It was because the three of them were travel-worn. And the clothes number 1 and number 2 wore were the hand-me-downs of Lin Ming. Therefore, they were all treated as poor people. This was the capital. And beggars were not allowed here. Therefore, with Lin Ming's appearance, he was treated as the lowest class of people. Such people were naturally avoided on the busiest streets of the capital. After Lin Ming understood the situation, he heaved a sigh of relief. If the dark power of number 1 and number 2 were to leak out, it would probably attract a lot of trouble. Does your shop sell clothes? Lin Ming looked at the shop and asked. Yes, our shop has silk and silk. We have everything, even clothes made from the fur of magical beasts. The person was arrogant. Show us. Lin Ming said. No, don't come in. You'll dirty my shop. The guy even blocked Lin Ming directly. Forget it. Lin Ming smiled and shook his head. He wouldn't argue with such a person. Lin Ming turned around and left the shop. Seeing Lin Ming leave, this guy snorted coldly. Lin Ming turned around and entered another shop. Since their clothes were too shabby now, they would have to change them first. It wasn't a good thing to be too shabby or too ostentatious. Sir, please follow me. When the shop assistant saw Lin Ming and the other two, although he was a little displeased, he still brought the three of them to a corner. It was full of coarse clothes or items that were out of fashion. We want those. Lin Ming pointed at the relatively simple but profound clothes at the front of the shop and said, Sir, although those clothes don't look so gorgeous, because of the special material used, the price. Seeing that Lin Ming was actually choosing the clothes at the front, the employee advised them not to think too much. No worries, get us 3 sets. Money to Lin Ming was like dirt. Sir, how about you listen to the price first? After all, this employee had no intention of getting the clothes for Lin Ming. What do you mean? Our master just wants to try them. Why are you talking so much nonsense? Number 1 couldn't stand it anymore. As a master of the dark, he was the biggest existence in the juncture. Now he was being looked down upon in a clothing store. Alright, I know what you mean. Lin Ming waved his hand, and number 1 returned to behind Lin Ming. Here, Lin Ming took out a bag of gold coins and placed it in front of the shop assistant. The shop assistant was dumbfounded when he saw so many gold coins. After he came to his senses, his expression immediately changed, as if he were a different person. Sir, this kind of clothes doesn't cost so many gold coins. I'll bring you 3 sets of clothes that match your sizes. The shop assistant hurriedly placed the 3 sets of clothes in front of Lin Ming. Not long after, Lin Ming, number 1 and number 2, walked out of the shop. This time, Lin Ming and the other two completely merged into the capital. As expected, clothes make a man just as a saddle makes a horse. Lin Ming continued to walk on the street, and a spiritual herb shop attracted his gaze. How long has it been since I last performed alchemy? Lin Ming couldn't help but ask. He was originally a tier 3 alchemist, but because there were too many things to do, Lin Ming had put alchemy aside for a very long time. Even if he performed alchemy now, his skill would probably be a little rusty. Yeah, but before Lin Ming had the time to sigh, a red object landed in front of Lin Ming. Number 1 and number 2 wanted to make a move, but were stopped by Lin Ming. Lin Ming looked over. It was actually a red embroidered ball. Lin Ming smiled and shook his head. He didn't pick up the embroidered ball, but instead turned around to leave. Stop. Just as Lin Ming was about to leave, a husky voice appeared behind him. Lin Ming turned his head. Was this a forced sale? Congratulations, sir. You have been chosen by the most popular courtesan. Tonight, you can have a drink with her. The burly man walked up to Lin Ming and said, No need, I'm not interested. Lin Ming shook his head and said, Not interested? Don't you know who the most popular courtesan of our fantasy valley is? Many people have begged for, and still couldn't get this opportunity, but you actually. After hearing Lin Ming's answer, the burly man was a little surprised. I said I'm not interested, which means just that. There's no need to say more. Lin Ming turned around and strode forward. Please give me some face, sir. A figure appeared in front of Lin Ming. When Lin Ming heard this voice, he abruptly raised his head. Ernest Lin. Lin Ming opened his mouth in surprise. He did not expect that the so-called most popular courtesan of the Fantasy Valley was actually an old acquaintance of his. Ernest Lin, weren't you? Lin Ming couldn't help but open his mouth. After all, meeting Ernest Lin here was too unbelievable for Lin Ming. Come with me to Fantasy Valley, we'll talk there. Ernest Lin said. Okay, originally, Lin Ming had no interest in this so-called fantasy valley. But now, with Ernest Lin's appearance, he was full of curiosity. It seemed that Ernest Lin had quite a few secrets. Why are you here? And you became the most popular courtesan? This was the first thing Lin Ming said after entering the room. Alas, things are unpredictable. Fantasy Valley was originally run by my family. It included restaurants, spiritual herb stores, spiritual treasure stores, and all kinds of businesses. We were involved in them, and we were extremely powerful. Our family was also a part of the royal family in this empire. After you participated in the competition and said goodbye to me, I suddenly received the news of my father's death. Ernest Lin's expression was sorrowful. And now, although I'm struggling to hold on, it's difficult for me to accept the end of my father's family business being eroded step by step. After all, the struggles and infighting among the royal family were cruel to begin with. Ernest Lin sighed. It was hard for a woman like her to support such a large family business. At this time, there was definitely someone else in the family who would want to fight for the family property. So you came to be the most popular courtesan? Lin Ming smiled and asked. Yes, I want to find someone who can help me through my identity as the most popular courtesan. Ernest Lin nodded. There was nothing to deny. After all, she was at the end of her rope. Fortunately, I appeared in time. Lin Ming smiled and said, Sigh, although you are indeed very good, and I don't even know your level now, but last time, when Ernest Lin was attacked by a tier 8 mage, Lin Ming saved her. At that time, she fell into a coma. Indeed, after that, she couldn't figure out Lin Ming's depth. But what was the use? What Ernest Lin was facing now wasn't just the pressure from within the royal family. The reason some in the family were so confident was that there were people outside the family supporting them. Now, the forces Ernest Lin faced were a mix of the good and bad, and they were extremely powerful. In Ernest Lin's eyes, although Lin Ming was very good, he was still only a student of Green Magic Academy. Now that you have become the most popular courtesan, although you can interact with more people, and may even meet people with a sense of justice, it's very difficult to save your family through one person. Lin Ming spoke. That's true. Ernest Lin nodded. What she was doing now was purely due to her wishful thinking. But since I'm here, I'll help you solve this matter. Lin Ming smiled and said, in the eyes of others, this matter was inevitable, but for the current Lin Ming, it could be easily solved. It's all right, you don't have to help me with this matter. I'm already very happy that we can meet today. Today, we'll drink until we're drunk. Ernest Lin sighed and ordered people to prepare the wine and dishes. Lin Ming heard Ernest Lin's words and knew that she did not believe that he could settle this matter. However, it was only natural. When he left, his magic level was only at a tier 3 mage. No one would have thought that Lin Ming could change so much in such a short period of time. Then, let's relax today. Lin Ming looked at the dishes and wine laid out and didn't say anything else. Instead, he raised his glass with Ernest Lin. Ernest Lin's heart was under too much pressure. In just a short while, she got drunk. Lin Ming listened to Ernest Lin's many words, filled with a lot of grievances and pressure. Lin Ming couldn't help but feel sorry for this girl, who had always acted tough. Suddenly, Ernest Lin hugged Lin Ming. Ernest Lin was really under a lot of pressure. She actually started to cry. Lin Ming hugged this hot body and suddenly blushed. At this moment, Ernest Lin's lips also came down. A night passed quickly. Lin Ming was also a little drunk. When he opened his eyes, he was the only one in the entire room, lying on the huge bed. What did I do last night? Lin Ming recalled the scene. After they finished drinking last night, he put his hand on his head and quickly got up to put on his clothes. Where's the young miss? Lin Ming walked out of the room and asked the waiter beside him. This morning, someone outside brought a letter. After the young miss read it, she left in a hurry. I don't know where she went. The waiter shook his head. How could a servant like her know about the young miss' whereabouts? There was another internal conflict in young Miss's family. She went back. At this moment, an elder with a higher status said, where is Ernest Lin's family? Lin Ming nodded and asked. It seemed that he had to join in on the fun today. Otherwise, he would really be letting down what he had done last night. It's in the southeast direction. It's very close to this place. After walking a few streets, you will see a mansion. That's the location of young Miss's family. The waiter knew the answer to this question. so he quickly tried to curry favor. After all, this man had stayed in the room with the young miss for an entire night. Therefore, with Lin Ming's identity, they didn't dare to neglect him. Okay. Lin Ming nodded and led number 1 and number 2 to Ernest Lin's family. Ernest Lin's family was indeed huge. Soon, Lin Ming locked onto his target. Stop. Just as Lin Ming wanted to enter, he was suddenly blocked by 2 people at the door. I'm here to look for Ernest Lin. Lin Ming didn't directly barge in. After all, he didn't know whether these 2 people were Ernest Lin's people or not. Cut the crap. There's a big discussion going on inside. No matter who you're looking for, it won't work. The 2 gatekeepers snorted and said, okay. Lin Ming nodded. It seemed that these 2 people had nothing to do with Ernest Lin. Therefore, he made a move and turned the 2 of them into ashes. The 2 of them didn't even manage to scream in pain. Lin Ming strode forward and looked for Ernest Lin's location. At this moment, Ernest Lin was already being forced into a corner. In the room, you're just a little girl. Don't worry about so many things. There are still us few elders in the family. You just have to obediently let go. An old man looked at Ernest Lin and said. This old man was Ernest Lin's uncle, and he had the highest popularity in the family. He was also Ernest Lin's biggest opponent. Pui, don't take advantage of your seniority here. Others may not know what you're thinking. But you think I don't know? Ernest Lin's expression was dark. And she didn't give this old man any face. Father, you see, Linner doesn't give face to anyone. Why don't you leave it to me? And let her have a heart-to-heart talk with me? Perhaps then everything will be fine. A man with a lustful expression behind the old man spoke. Shut up. This old man really wanted to give his son 2 slaps. If it wasn't because his son had tarnished his own reputation, he would have already taken control of the family by now. You useless fellow, get the hell out of here. The old man didn't show any mercy even when he scolded his son. The man with a lustful expression wanted to defend himself. But when he saw his father's impatient expression, he could only leave dejectedly. Linner, there are so many of us here today. Because we have to discuss this matter together. You aren't the only one who has the final say in this family. Even when your father was around, he still had to respect our opinions. The old man turned around to look at Ernest Lin and said, Humph, you don't have to say anything more. When my father was around, I didn't see you talk so much. Ernest Lin didn't fall for his tricks. Back then, this old man had been extremely honest in front of her father and her brother. No one would have thought that after her father passed away, he would actually become so sinister. Mediocrity is the virtue of women. If it wasn't because your father was the previous chief, you wouldn't even have the qualifications to participate in this meeting today. A voice appeared in a corner. That's right, why don't you take a look at yourself? Even though you are an assassin, your tier is still too low. The voices around also echoed those words. All of you, shut up. Before my father passed away, he passed the position of the chief to me. Ernest Lin shouted loudly, interrupting everyone's words. She was the one who would inherit the position of chief anyhow. These people were only here to obtain the benefits from the family and control the family. Whoa, 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 young miss, are you anxious now? You said that your father passed the position of chief to you. Why didn't we know that? Are you making this up? A voice with a mocking tone appeared. When Ernest Lin's father passed the position of chief to her, there were witnesses next to them. But these people had already been bribed. That's right, have you ever seen a woman who can become the chief? Another voice also appeared. This was also a sore point for Ernest Lin. In this world, men held power. If Ernest Lin were a man, she would definitely have received some support. At the very least, she wouldn't have been in such a helpless situation. In this world, there are many women who are the chief of a family. There was even once an empress who ruled the empire. Do you blame me for your lack of knowledge? Although Ernest Lin was alone, her aura did not lose to anyone else. You, little girl, if the family were in your hands, it would definitely decline. Everyone on the side was filled with malice toward Ernest Lin. Young miss, you can be the chief. But there are indeed too many things in the family. Furthermore, you've just returned. So there are many things that you don't know. In the future, all of our family matters will be discussed by everyone in the family. What do you think? The old man who had just spoken stepped forward once more. Unless you're lying to me, I know everything. Ernest Lin naturally wouldn't agree to this matter. If she agreed, it would be equivalent to her becoming a tool. Although she would be the chief on the surface, in reality, she would become a puppet that was being controlled. Uncle O, there are too many variables. Make your move as soon as possible. A masked man behind the old man told him telepathically. Young miss is too tired today. Let's talk tomorrow. The old man knew that if he used ordinary methods, he wouldn't be able to get Ernest Lin to agree. Whether it's today or tomorrow, as long as I'm here. I won't agree to your words. Ernest Lin shouted. Someone, bring the young miss to rest. The old man signaled with his eyes, and in an instant, 2 strong men surrounded Ernest Lin. What are you doing? Ernest Lin roared angrily. But everyone acted as if they didn't see it. The current Ernest Lin was only a tier 6 assassin. She couldn't resist the strength of these 2 strong men at all. Ernest Lin felt despair in her heart. She knew that if she was placed under house arrest, the rest of her life would be cut out already. Young miss, we have already prepared a place for you to rest. When you have thought it through, just tell someone to inform us. The old man spoke. Let go of me. Ernest Lin still wanted to resist, but she was dragged to the door. From today onwards, I will temporarily settle the family matters. Does anyone have any objections? The old man opened his mouth, and finally revealed his true nature. The reason why Ernest Lin could hold on for this period of time was that the old man had been busy planning to take down the family and become the person in charge of the family. That was why Ernest Lin had a moment to catch her breath. Now that everything was planned out, he revealed his true nature. Naturally, there was no one around to refute him. At this moment, Ernest Lin was about to be taken out of the room and placed under house arrest. I have an opinion. Suddenly, a voice appeared. This voice belonged to Lin Ming. Boom, the door was instantly shattered. Who are you? How dare you come here to behave atrociously? Following Lin Ming's appearance, the atmosphere suddenly changed. You reckless brat, somebody come and chop him up. Looking at Lin Ming, who suddenly appeared, he shouted loudly. At this moment, the people in the family, who had the intention to curry favor with him, rushed up at the first moment. After all, in their eyes, Lin Ming was really just a brat. In their eyes, taking down Lin Ming was a piece of cake. Lin Ming, leave quickly, the situation here. Ernest Lin looked at Lin Ming, who appeared, and said anxiously. Although she was grateful that Lin Ming was still fearless and appeared here at this time, but in her opinion, Lin Ming facing the power of the entire royal family was no different from sending himself to his death. But before she could finish speaking, the few people who rushed up turned into ashes. You did ask whoever has an opinion, right? Were you merely putting on an act? You want to chop me up just because I said something? Lin Ming looked at the old man and said coldly. Humph, how can an outsider like you interfere in our family's internal affairs? The old man snorted and confronted Lin Ming. Isn't he also an outsider? Lin Ming pointed at the masked man behind the old man innocently. He is my adopted son, of course, he is not an outsider. The old man's face was filled with dark clouds as he spoke. Oh, I thought that as long as one's surname is different, one would be an outsider. According to what you said, I am now Ernest Lin's man, so I am no longer an outsider. Lin Ming mocked him back. You are only a tier 7 mage, yet you are still spouting such arrogant words. What are the two of you standing there for? Send the young lady to rest. The old man's brows were tightly knitted. He berated the 2 strong men, who were escorting Ernest Lin instead. At this moment, Ernest Lin's face was flushed red. Lin Ming's words made her heart beat faster, and her heart surged. Old senior, don't change the topic. Lin Ming smiled and strode forward. The magic in his hands surged, and he actually killed the 2 strong men that Ernest Lin was unable to break free from. Are you okay? Lin Ming looked at Ernest Lin and asked with concern. Lin Ming, you don't have to care about me. I will definitely have a way to control the family in the future. Before they surround you, you have to leave this place quickly. Ernest Lin grabbed the corner of Lin Ming's clothes and said, Today, leave the matters here to me. Lin Ming said. Lin Ming stood in front of Ernest Lin, like a towering mountain. Little brat, how dare you commit serial murder? In our family's meeting place, truly detestable. Why are you still not exterminating him? Don't tell me you want us to become a joke. As these angry words were said, Lin Ming was instantly surrounded in the middle. Lin Ming, Ernest Lin was so nervous that her palms were sweating. In Ernest Lin's eyes, they were probably doomed today. Fiery Phoenix Spell. Fire magic elements gathered around Lin Ming's body. The entire conference room instantly became burning hot. Fiery Phoenix Spell. The two Fiery Phoenix spells made the huge conference room restless. Destroy. Following Lin Ming's control, the Fiery Phoenix spells instantly killed several people, who rushed forward. A Tier 7 mage is actually so terrifying? The old man looked at Lin Ming, who had made his move, and frowned. One had to know that among the people that Lin Ming killed instantly, there were also Tier 7 mages. Both parties were equally Tier 7 mages, but they were actually instantly killed by Lin Ming. This made the old man doubt whether Lin Ming's realm was real or fake, and behind Lin Ming, Ernest Lin's heart was greatly relieved. At first, she thought that this time, they would be fraught with grim possibilities, but following Lin Ming's attack, it made her once again thought of the youth who had always created miracles. Lin Ming was decisive in his killing, and his attacks were all instant kills. And at this time, the old man also understood the reason for Lin Ming's arrogance. This person indeed had the right to be arrogant. Second Elder, why aren't you making a move? The old man spoke. The second elder, who was beside the old man, heard the old man's orders and walked towards the battlefield. In his hand was a high-tier magic staff. Following his arrival, several spells rapidly attacked Lin Ming. Lin Ming did not dodge. The Vajrapatra protected Lin Ming within. After all, Ernest Lin was still behind Lin Ming. If Lin Ming dodged, Ernest Lin, who was behind him, would be in trouble. The second elder also saw this point, and his magic attack towards Lin Ming became even more violent. A Tier 9 mage? As the second elder attacked, Lin Ming could sense his magic level. A Tier 6 mage was already considered a very high tier. In the Empire, any family that could have a mage of such a level was at least a royal family. A Tier 7 mage can make the second elder. A Tier 9 mage make a move. Even if he dies, it would be worth it. Following the second elder's attack, the surrounding voices rose. The second elder's attack covered a large area. Just now, the old man had used telepathy to instruct him to attack indiscriminately. It would be best if he could kill Ernest Lin in battle. Now, they believed that Lin Ming would die for sure. Out. With Lin Ming's control, a defensive-type spiritual treasure of the same tier as the Staff of Blazing Power appeared, protecting Lin Ming and Ernest Lin within. Pearl Light? The moment this defensive-type spiritual treasure appeared, he opened his mouth in surprise. He actually recognized this defensive-type spiritual treasure. Isn't this? In the records, he had seen it before. It should be an imitation. The old man did not believe that Lin Ming, who was only a Tier 7 mage, could possess a defensive-type spiritual treasure of this level. One had to know that even in such a large family as theirs, only Ernest Lin's father had one. Staff of Blazing Power. Lin Ming immediately took out the Staff of Blazing Power. Now that he was facing a Tier 9 mage, Lin Ming was also on guard. As Lin Ming took out the Staff of Blazing Power, the old man was taken aback again. This kid, he owns quite a lot of imitations. In the records, only a few offensive-type spiritual treasures were ranked high, and the Staff of Blazing Power was among the top of the list. And the magical aura emitted by the Staff of Blazing Power was so dense that he couldn't believe it was only an imitation. Fiery Phoenix Spell. Dazzling Dragon Spell. Lin Ming cast two spells at the same time. Dazzling Dragon Spell. Attack together. Lin Ming spoke again, and 8 Dazzling Dragon spells surrounded the second elder. Fiery Phoenix Spell. Attack together. Lin Ming spoke again, and 8 Fiery Phoenix spells attacked the second elder directly as well. Gasp. This kid, this is impossible. How can he be only a Tier 7 mage with such strength? As Lin Ming attacked, many disbelieving voices appeared. Lin Ming's spells were already powerful. With the 30% element bonus from the Staff of Blazing Power, the spells that Lin Ming cast were even more terrifying. Merge. The 8 Dazzling Dragon spells and the 8 Fiery Phoenix spells merged together. How is this possible? The second elder, who was surrounded by fire spells, felt the intense pressure and frowned. Even the first elder couldn't give him such strong pressure. Flood the Golden Mountain. The second elder used his most powerful water spell to receive Lin Ming's attack. Explode. Lin Ming's fusion of spells wasn't just to make his attacks stronger. Lin Ming never played by the rules. With the fusion of magic, Lin Ming directly made the magic explode. The powerful magic explosions were much stronger than direct attacks. and the range of the attack was also wider. Air blast spell, go. The moment before the magic explosion, Lin Ming pulled Ernest Lin and instantly left the meeting place. Boom! Before Ernest Lin could react, the sound waves behind her deafened her. The blast waves from the explosion made her stagger. If Lin Ming hadn't grabbed her, she would have fallen to the ground. Let's go. We'll come back tomorrow. Lin Ming grabbed Ernest Lin and walked out. But Ernest Lin stopped and looked behind her. She didn't want to leave now. The meeting place had been razed to the ground. More than half of the people gathered at the meeting place had died. The second elder, who was in the center of the explosion, had been killed. As for the old man, he spat out blood and couldn't stand steadily. Are you pitying them? Lin Ming asked. After all, there are so many people in the meeting place. There will always be innocent people, Ernest Lin muttered. No matter what, this was her family. There were also her family members here. Just now, they were all aggressive towards you. Now, you don't have to think about who is innocent. Today, there are no innocent people in there. Lin Ming said, then isn't now the best time for me to take control of the family? After all, your attack has made them lose the ability to resist. Ernest Lin looked at the tragic scene and said, if you take control now, you won't be able to completely control it. After a long time, there will definitely be another incident. Lin Ming shook his head. Now was not the best time to take control of the family. Then, when is the best time to take control of the family? Ernest Lin had already treated Lin Ming as her backbone. Lin Ming's attack just now had completely shocked her, and also completely conquered her. Tomorrow, that's about it. Lin Ming spoke. Tomorrow, I'm afraid that tomorrow, the matter will be blown into an extremely big matter, and will be more difficult to deal with. Ernest Lin frowned and spoke. Blown into a big matter? That's exactly what we need. Alright, let's go to a quiet place first. I'll tell you about it in detail. Hearing the wails, Lin Ming said. Alright, Ernest Lin followed Lin Ming and left the family grounds. Since Lin Ming said so, he must have his own plans. At this moment, the first elder barely managed to stand up. Now that he was scared out of his wits by Lin Ming's attack, he didn't even dare to let anyone chase after Lin Ming. If he were in the center of the explosion created by Lin Ming, or if he didn't have a spiritual treasure to protect him, he would probably have died under the intimidation of this kind of power. He didn't dare to act rashly. Save the people first. The old man looked at the meeting place. That was still lively just a moment ago. Now, more than half of them were dead or injured. No matter what, saving people was the most important thing now. Uncle O, are you alright? The man behind the old man was protected by the old man, so he was fine. However, Lin Ming's attack just now had truly scared him silly. He couldn't understand how a tier 7 mage could have such damage. I'll be fine after some rest. The old man's heart was also in a mess. He was originally determined to get the position of chief today. Even if it was not his, the one who truly controlled the family would definitely be him. But with the appearance of Lin Ming, not only did his plan fail, but the family was now in a state of panic. He had wanted to become the chief, but now it seemed impossible. Uncle O, what should we do now? The masked man was at a loss. He had no idea what to do. We can only go to your father. This guy is not someone we can deal with. He's too dangerous, the old man said without any hesitation. If Lin Ming cast another magic explosion, he might really die. Okay, I'll go find my father now. The masked man nodded. He also knew that if he followed the old man to find Lin Ming, and if the old man could not protect him, he would be killed instantly by Lin Ming. Although he was also a tier 7 mage, he could clearly feel the gap between his tier 7 and Lin Ming's tier 7. It was too big, so big that he did not dare to face Lin Ming at all. I'll go with you. The old man thought for a moment and said. He was worried that the masked man wouldn't be able to make things clear. So no matter how the family was now, he had to go with the masked man. Okay, the masked man nodded. Save the people, save the people. The old man once again spoke loudly and hypocritically before leaving. At this time, the sound of the explosion within Ernest Lin's family shook the hearts of the many forces that had been paying attention to it. They all had their own spies in Ernest Lin's family. After hearing about what had happened at the meeting, they all stopped their plans. They were worried that their plans would backfire. Moreover, the most powerful force in the empire was already stationed in Ernest Lin's family. They needed to wait and see. They didn't want to suffer a double loss. Lin Ming, tell me the truth. What tier are you at now? Lin Ming's attacks just now were too powerful. The damage caused by the explosion was simply ridiculous. Ernest Lin, who had now come to her senses, couldn't help but ask Lin Ming. With such power, how could he only be a tier 7 mage? A tier 7 mage, but it's just that the magic elements in my body are more condensed. Lin Ming spoke. Just more condensed? Lin Ming's words made Ernest Lin roll her eyes. Lin Ming, how many more secrets do you have? You can even kill a tier 9 mage in an instant. The second elder held an important position in the family, because a tier 9 mage was extremely rare. However, such a powerful person was actually killed by Lin Ming in an instant. Furthermore, more than half of the people in the meeting place were actually killed or injured by Lin Ming in one blow. Even when they left, no one dared to stop them. There's no secret, it's just that I usually train harder. Lin Ming chuckled. Even if you're really only at tier 7 now, your level up is a little too fast. You should know that when we said goodbye, you were only a tier 3 mage. How did you become a tier 7 mage in such a short period of time? Ernest Lin exclaimed again. Lin Ming's attack just now was too abnormal, so she had just wrapped her head around many things. By training hard, Lin Ming really couldn't think of any other reason. So he simply repeated what he had just said. Forget it, everyone has their own secrets. Since you don't want to tell me, I won't ask anymore. Ernest Lin sighed and said. She also knew that Lin Ming had a lot of secrets about him. Lin Ming, thank you so much for today. Ernest Lin crawled into Lin Ming's arms like a little woman. If Lin Ming had not appeared in time today, she would have been put under house arrest. On top of that, her father's large family's surname would be changed. After all, you're my woman. I won't allow you to suffer any grievances. Lin Ming smiled and stroked Ernest Lin's hair. Hearing this, Ernest Lin's face flushed red once again. Oh, right, why do you want to settle the matter of my family tomorrow? If you give the Great Elder time today, I'm afraid he'll call for reinforcements tomorrow. Ernest Lin spoke. She still wanted to know the reason for this matter. You must know that the faction behind the Great Elder is extremely huge. That masked man is the young master of that faction. Ernest Lin said. I'm afraid it will be extremely lively tomorrow. Thinking of tomorrow, she was afraid that she would have to face even more things. Fortunately, Lin Ming was here. Otherwise, she would really be in deep despair. It is my original intention for it to be boisterous, otherwise, wouldn't it be boring? Lin Ming smiled and said, but there were too many factions that were paying attention to her family. Starting tomorrow, you can completely control your family. If you did it today, even if I help you secure your status as the chief, they will definitely bite back at you in the future. Lin Ming said. If it were someone else, he would really be too lazy to say so much. But Ernest Lin was different. Why? Ernest Lin asked. You'll know tomorrow. Today, just rest well, don't think too much. Lin Ming said. But Ernest Lin opened her mouth in a daze. She still wanted to say something. Don't worry, I'm here. Lin Ming comforted her, indicating that she didn't need to think so much. Okay. After hearing Lin Ming's words, Ernest Lin nodded. Lin Ming's words gave her peace of mind, and Lin Ming's firm chest also made her stop making blind and disorderly conjectures. Number 1, number 2. Lin Ming walked out of the room and called number 1 and number 2 to the front of him. Master, please give us your orders. Number 1 and number 2 knew that a storm was coming. Today, you must patrol well. If there are any signs of disturbance or trouble, call me immediately. Lin Ming instructed as such to number 1 and number 2. Tonight was definitely a sleepless night. Even the entire capital would be in complete chaos. Lin Ming's appearance had broken the delicate balance. Ernest Lin was someone whom the various great clans could control. Thus, they were all in a delicate state of balance. But today, with Lin Ming's attack, everything changed. Especially the family that the masked man belonged to. It was already a huge uproar. Of course, not sleeping well did not include Lin Ming. Lin Ming's attack was too powerful. Tonight, the family's priority task could not be to attack Lin Ming. They were not fools. And no one would be the first to provoke Lin Ming. At this time, their priority task was to investigate Lin Ming. At this time, the family from where the masked man was from, a dignified middle-aged man, listened to the elder's words carefully. Is he really just a tier 7 mage? The middle-aged man frowned and asked. Yes, absolutely. The elder nodded. He believed in Lin Ming's magic tier. He was absolutely not mistaken. As for why Lin Ming could release such a terrifying magic attack, he did not know. Bring me to the scene of your family's battle. The middle-aged man spoke, and followed the elder to Ernest Lin's clan. Great elder. As the elder returned to the clan, everyone in the clan bowed. And now, the elder did not have the mood to pay so much attention to etiquette. Instead, he led the middle-aged man quickly to the place where the battle was taking place. Go. When they reached the spot where Lin Ming attacked, a mirror-like numinous treasure appeared in the middle-aged man's hand. Buzz. The numinous treasure was controlled by the middle-aged man and emitted light. After a while, the middle-aged man put away the mysterious treasure. Let me take a look. The numinous treasure floated in the air, and an image appeared. This numinous treasure could actually restore the battle that happened within a day. Moreover, Lin Ming's aura and so on were all collected by this spiritual treasure. He is indeed a tier 7 mage, but why is this person so strong? This person looks extremely young. Among the younger generation, I don't remember there being such a person. The middle-aged man looked at Lin Ming in the picture. His brows tightly knitted. Because of the magic explosion that Lin Ming cast, even he felt waves of palpitations in his heart. A tier 7 mage could cast such a powerful explosion spell and even escape unscathed. This was definitely not a simple tier 7 mage. Clan leader, what should we do? The elder stood beside the middle-aged man and asked. Don't worry too much. The most important task tonight is to investigate this person thoroughly. The middle-aged man lowered his head and pondered for a moment before speaking. All right, the elder nodded. He had a feeling that such a powerful mage of tier 7 definitely couldn't be nurtured by an ordinary power. If this person is a sage tier mage, then the chances of this sort of monster being a sage tier mage were extremely high. HMPH, what are you afraid of? Isn't our clan's patriarch a sage tier mage? This matter was initiated by this person. We aren't in the wrong. The middle-aged man naturally had the same thoughts, but in front of the old elder, he still couldn't lose face. Yes, the elder nodded. The reason why the clan he was currently loyal to was able to become the #1 clan in the empire was that the only sage tier mage in the empire was in their clan. I'm afraid that the other clans are currently investigating this person as well. Remember, don't provoke this person for now. The middle-aged man spoke. It was one thing to be stubborn, but it was better not to cause any more trouble now. Yes, I understand. The elder nodded. With Lin Ming's actions at the meeting place, even if he were to take the initiative to provoke him, he would not have the guts to do so. Leave the rest to me. The middle-aged man spoke. He was going to start investigating Lin Ming. Tonight, you take care of the family. Don't forget your most important matter. The middle-aged man spoke. The reason he treated the old man well was because of the old man's value. This old man was not only a rare peak tier 9 mage, but he was also the family's great elder. In the case of Ernest Lin's father, the family's patriarch, dying, he was the family's most powerful person. Now, he wanted to take down the family. Yes, I understand. The old man nodded. He also understood his value, and he had no regrets. The reason why he still sought refuge was because the forefather of the middle-aged man's family had promised him that as long as he took down the family, he would help him become a tier 10 mage. This was his lifelong dream. If it wasn't for this elder's help, he probably wouldn't have been able to fulfill his dream in this lifetime. This was also the reason why he worked so hard. Then I'll leave first. After the middle-aged man finished speaking, he quickly returned to the family and sent people to investigate Lin Ming. At this moment, Lin Ming was in his room, eating heartily. Lin Ming, will there be any problems tonight? Ernest Lin asked worriedly. After all, night was the most dangerous time. Lin Ming was strong in a face-to-face battle, but a sneak attack at night was the most difficult to resist. After all, it was easy to block an open spear, but difficult to defend against a hidden arrow. Don't worry, tonight, if one is not a fool, one won't sneak attack us, Lin Ming said. Moreover, even if there are fools, the two people I brought are not for nothing. Lin Ming smiled and said, what kind of mages were the two of them? They were both dark element mages. What they were best at was fighting in the dark. The dark night would only increase their magic power. Even if there were people testing them tonight, their tier would not be too high. The two of them could definitely take care of it. And even if they couldn't, wasn't there still Lin Ming? Okay, Ernest Lin nodded. She trusted Lin Ming very much now. Even if Lin Ming said that 1 + 1 was 3, she still firmly believed him. Lin Ming, tomorrow, we'll have to rely on you. Ernest Lin opened her mouth and said, "These are all small matters. As your man, these are all things that I should do." Lin Ming spoke in an extremely domineering manner. Facing the entire empire, the most powerful family was still as if facing nothing big. It was probably only Lin Ming, my man. When Ernest Lin heard Lin Ming's words, she thought of last night, and her breathing became hurried again. Ernest Lin stood up and slowly walked towards Lin Ming. A night passed in a hurry. As expected, nothing happened that night. No matter how big the commotion outside was, at least there was no movement in Lin Ming's place. At this moment, in the middle-aged man's residence, because of the investigation into Lin Ming, he did not sleep well the whole night. The sky had just brightened when a servant entered his room and reported the details of Lin Ming to him. He's just a first-year student of the Green Academy? The middle-aged man stood up and frowned. He knew that things were far from being that simple. A Tier 7 mage and a Tier 7 monstrous mage who could instantly kill a Tier 9 mage. How could this be just an ordinary student of the Green Academy? Clan leader, this person's name is Lin Ming. Indeed, he just entered the Green Academy a few months ago. The servant of the investigation spoke with confidence. As the #1 family of the empire, they possessed an extremely mature intelligence system. They didn't dare to say that they didn't make mistakes. But at most, it was just a few words of misinformation. Just entered Green Academy's first year a few months ago? Isn't Green Academy always ranked last in the academy ranking? One could always remember the first and last place. If it were any other academy, this middle-aged man really wouldn't be able to remember. But Green Academy was at the bottom every year. So he still had some impression. Wait, what did you say? Lin Ming just entered Green Academy a few months ago? This man suddenly reacted and stood up. Yes, the investigator nodded. According to the information, Lin Ming had indeed just entered the Green Academy a few months ago. He's just a new student. When he entered, what tier was he, a mage? The middle-aged man frowned. A new student had the power of a Tier 7? The principal of the Green Academy was probably just so-so. Tier 1 mage. When the investigator spoke, he hesitated for a moment. But no matter how he hesitated, the information should not be wrong. Tier 1 mage? Isn't that bullshit? How could you leave in a few months' time and become a Tier 7 mage from a Tier 1 mage? And a Tier 7 mage with such monstrous power? The middle-aged man really wanted to slap the person who was investigating. Was he trying to play a fool here? Even a 3-year-old child wouldn't believe such a thing. Clan leader, it's absolutely true. We definitely don't dare to hide anything. The person who was investigating was also very innocent. Then tell me, what kind of fortuitous encounter did this Lin Ming have? After the middle-aged man calmed down, he said, the information stops at the end of Lin Ming's competition. The investigator gave the information to the middle-aged man. If you get first place, all the students of the academy will be eliminated. This was the last part of the information. What about the rest of the time? There are still 2 to 3 months until now. Why is this period of time blank? The middle-aged man asked. Logically speaking, his family's intelligence system could have investigated everything clearly. Even if it was the emperor. Why did Lin Ming's investigation information become blank 2 months ago? Clan leader, during this period of time, we are unable to investigate Lin Ming's location and actions. The investigator shook his head. Wasn't this obvious? After Gandalf accepted Lin Ming as a disciple, he directly brought him into the deep mountains. And no matter who was investigating, it was impossible to find out anything about Gandalf. And this matter of opportunity was the secret of a sage tier mage. Under such circumstances, it was simply not something that this clan could investigate. This kid is very difficult to deal with. Today, it's best not to take the initiative to provoke him. The middle-aged man closed his eyes. If even his clan could not investigate this matter clearly, then he must be carrying a huge secret. And such a secret required him to consider it carefully. Clan leader, should we tell the patriarch about this matter? At this moment, someone beside the middle-aged man asked. There's no need. The patriarch doesn't like to be disturbed. I'll handle this matter. The middle-aged man waved his hand and said, Today, even if I don't make a move, there will still be families that can't be controlled. Now, one word, wait, the middle-aged man said. If he were an ordinary person, as the patriarch of the empire's #1 family, he would naturally not put them in his eyes. But this Lin Ming was definitely not an ordinary person. This made him feel uncertain. Eldest brother, second brother, if anyone dares to provoke, kill them immediately. Lin Ming instructed the eldest brother and the second brother who were outside. And on that day, the eldest brother and the second brother had killed more than 10 people. Lin Ming knew that these were just appetizers. Since the big fish did not take the bait, he would not make a move. Now, it was time to compete in patience. Lin Ming did not believe that with such a big bait being here, the big fish could endure and not take the bait. Lin Ming, today, Ernest Lin looked at the sky that was about to turn dark and could not help but speak. Lin Ming and her had not left this place for a whole day. This made the already anxious Ernest Lin unable to sit still. I originally thought that the big fish would take the bait today. But now it seems that this big fish probably knows something and isn't in a hurry. Lin Ming smiled and said, the bait is here. The big fish will take the bait sooner or later. Even if this fish doesn't take the bait, there will be other big fish taking the bait. Lin Ming continued to speak, indicating for Ernest Lin to calm down. If they don't come, it will be more peaceful. Lin Ming said, but this kind of thing will come sooner or later. It's better to resolve it earlier. The heart won't be in suspense forever. Ernest Lin lowered her head and spoke. At most 3 days, there will definitely be a fish that will take the bait. Lin Ming made a promise. All right, Ernest Lin nodded. She trusted Lin Ming. At this moment, the middle-aged man was restless. For an entire day, there was no movement. The middle-aged man could not help but speak. Yes, clan leader. The person beside him nodded and spoke. The other clans didn't send anyone over either? The middle-aged man asked. Yes, today, more than 10 people entered Lin Ming's location. But, after entering, there was no news at all. The person beside him replied. Today, he was under orders to supervise Lin Ming's location for an entire day. This kid is really ruthless. Doesn't he know how to give face to anyone? The middle-aged man said after hearing the answer. He wasn't a simple person. He knew that anyone who entered would definitely be killed by Lin Ming. Is there any sound of fighting? The middle-aged man asked. No, there's no movement at all. The person beside him shook his head. What's the highest tier that entered? The middle-aged man asked again. Tier 8 assassin. The person beside him replied. After all, Ernest Lin was only a tier 8 assassin.